Welcome to the Warriors and Wardens podcast, formerly the Origin Keynote podcast. We are dedicated to sharing the lived experience of military and first responder communities from Australia and around the world. I'm your host, Tom Brown. Enjoy the show. G'day, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Warriors and Wardens podcast, formerly Origin Keynote podcast. And today we've got Darren Hurtford in the studio. Drove down from Brizzy. Thanks for being here, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
All good. Yeah.
I've been waiting for this call for 3 years. I told you that as well.
It's funny, man, because you said you're like, oh man, I've actually wanted to come on the podcast, and it's a strange thing for me to hear things like that, even after all this time doing the podcast and running businesses and shit. That like I've created something valuable. Not like saying, hey, I'm awesome, but it's interesting to know what other people see when they look at the thing that you made.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, well, you started the podcast pretty much just as I started Section, and you were the first kind of like you were the OG guys. I mean, certainly for my generation, having a look at sort of what was in the landscape of veteran-owned businesses, you know, sort of kicked the door in with Origin Canine, and then you had the podcast, and it's like Tom Brown, rah, rah, rah. I'm just like, yeah, it's sick. And then you came to the Veteran-Owned Business Open Day, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's a fucking rock star. Doing a podcast, and I'm like, should you email him? Should you message? No, don't do that. Just wait. It's weird.
Don't message his personal number.
Yeah.
Darren, please don't ever text me on this. Just email me.
Yeah. We'll just keep it to the professional Instagram page, and that's it. Yeah.
I got that once from someone.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
so, and it fucking scarred me. And I'm fully like, even the other day I was messaging a dude and I was like, hey, you know, like, do you want me to just email you this thing? You know, sorry about, harassing you on your day off kind of thing. I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, it scarred me for some reason, man. Like, don't fucking message people on their personal number.
I had that. Yeah, quite a. I won't give away the person or the context, but the quite a high profile military person. Who, yeah, again, has been a supporter and helped out and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, hey, are you available for this thing? Like maybe later, you want to be? He's like, yeah, man, yeah, I'd love to if I'm available. Just let me know. I'm like, oh, so like I'll just shoot you a message, give me a call, grab your number or just Instagram. He's like, oh no, we'll just do Instagram. I'm like,
okay,
cool, man. No worries, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, of course. Why would I get your number? That's silly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well,
what are we dating now?
I've got other friends.
Also, message me when you get home. I just want to make it safe. Yeah.
Lots of other friends. Someone from I've got black friends as well.
Yeah, I mean, like if that's the type of podcast this is, sure. Like.
Mine was a psych, actually. He was a psych, the first psych I ever saw fucking years ago. And I had his number, like it was like the confirmation one or whatever. And then I think I messaged him on like WhatsApp or something about, hey, the upcoming session or whatever. And I was like, oh, but also this funny thing happened. And he was like, that's really good. Hey, look, we might just keep it on email if that's all right and just use the number for the confirmation thing. I was like, yep, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Message received.
I've had to set a couple of boundaries with some with clients as well, which is like, hey, cool, yeah, like here you're going through it right now and I'm here to help, but also like don't send me reels. Like don't send me your favorite song on Spotify that's describing how you feel right now. Like which is my own fault because we have such a connection obviously, and I've helped these people through their trauma by the end of the course, and then if they've done any coaching with me afterwards, I'm like, hey, look, anything you need, like I'm here, you've got my personal number. And then some people kind of take the piss. I'm like, okay, that's on me. I need to frame it in a certain way, but you only fuck it up once or 4 or 5 times.
I've made that mistake a few times. Yeah, not that I like, I guess when you're in the business of like really personal stuff and human connection, it's kind of hard not to. And then you got to be like, oh fuck, man, did I set some fucking wrong boundaries here, or did I send out the wrong message, or should I not do that, or should I do it but only for certain people? Like, yeah, I've been through that, man. Yeah, I actually had I won't tell that story. I was going to say I had a guy rock up at the house once.
Oh, okay.
Didn't go well for him, but yeah, I won't go into that.
We'll talk about
that's an off podcast story. Yeah. Anyway, but mate, that's enough about my cool stories. Let's you talk about me for a while. Nah, let's go back to your childhood, bro. Early days with Darren, man.
Shit. Okay, well,
get into it. You knew. Come on, don't pretend.
We're doing trauma stuff. All right, sure. No worries.
I mean, if that's what it is, sure.
Yeah. Look, Childhood. Okay, so grew up the fat kid, which when you look at the overachieving that I've tried to accomplish in my career, kind of makes sense. You know, I was bullied pretty heavily up until I was probably about 13, 14.
Oof.
Being sort of the fat kid, and then sort of got out of high school, and well, I mean, if we're staying in childhood, yeah, look, I had a pretty decent childhood, to be honest. Like there was no, both my parents were, I mean, they split up when I was like 12, I think, 12, 13 maybe. There was no abuse. There was no, neither one of my parents was a drunk or a drug addict. They didn't fucking leave me at home for 4 days, by myself. Like there was none of that, but I'll speak for myself. I want to talk about the human condition. I think I sort of looking back now at 40 years old, like, oh, wow, I really wish there was more support. I wish there was more emotional support. And I'm sure that my parents are going to listen to this. So, sorry, mum and dad. But yeah, like I don't begrudge my childhood in any way. It's made me who I am. And I've sort of really come to terms in the last few years with not necessarily being grateful for the experiences I've had, but accepting them. I've got a weird relationship with gratitude. Sort of the circles that I hang out with, they're like, oh, you've got to really be grateful and have gratitude for your hurt and your traumas and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to thank the universe for me being down the fucking bottom of the dark places, wishing that I could end it all. But I certainly accept that on the journey that is my life, those things needed to occur for me to be where I am now and do what I do.
Yep.
So I'm not thankful for that, but I accept it as a necessary part of it. It's like going to the gym. Like you need to hit a certain level of pain in order to grow, so this whole like toxic positivity of like, oh, I fucking love the pain. I don't love the pain. I don't love the pain at all. I don't enjoy fitness. I don't enjoy going to the gym. I do it because I appreciate the benefits afterwards. But if someone was like, hey, you could stay in shape and be fit and healthy without ever going to the gym, I would probably like, sweet, no worries, because I know I can play PlayStation for 12 hours. Like I'm good. So in terms of, coming all the way back to the childhood thing, like I really accept that what happened and it shaped who I am, and now helps me want to be able to give back that level of healing to other people, whether it's childhood stuff or it's traumatic events or whatever it might be, So yeah, look, my dad worked really, really hard to provide for the family, and my mum was, there, and she did all the things that a good mum would do. She took me to school and she took me to, training for the sports that I was involved in, all that sort of stuff, and then they split up, and I have no doubt that they did their best, and they're fallible humans like everybody else. And I'm sure, you've got your own kids, and when I have kids, like we'll fuck them up in our own special and unique ways. And I just hope that I build on the lessons that I've learned from my childhood and find new and creative ways to give them brand new trauma, So look, I don't begrudge anything from my childhood. It was what it was, and it shaped who I am now and what made me want to, enlist and do all the things that I'm doing now. So yeah, that sort of took me up to, when I finished school at sort of 17 and went to uni and did all the things that I thought I should have done. And then, became a personal trainer and got into that kind of industry, and then, enlisted at 27.
Okay.
So quite late compared to the average sort of demographic of people in the infantry.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I was at a stage where, being a personal trainer, I've been doing that for, I think, 4 or 5 years. And I was in a band, and the band was doing pretty well. And I was starting to get a bit antsy. And I was with a girlfriend at the time. I'm going, I don't want to be this personal trainer forever. I'm just, it's like something feels like it needs to shift, and at that point in time, this girl was the one I was going to be with. I'm sure we've had multiple of those, she's it. And I said, look, I've got to put this army dream to bed because I wanted to be special forces. I wanted to be in, commandos specifically since I was probably about 16, 17. I knew I wanted to be in the military since I was about 14 years old because I had a cousin who was in the Navy and he's like, hey, go and be a clearance diver. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Cool. No worries. So I kind of investigated all that sort of stuff. And then I think it was like my martial arts school at the time. There was a guy called John Will who, you know John Will?
I've seen a movie with a similar sounding guy.
Oh, right. Okay. John Will, yeah. So John Will he was teaching BJJ. He was a BJJ black belt. He was one of what's called the Dirty Dozen, which was basically the first non-Brazilian people to get their BJJ black belt back in the 90s or something like that. When BJJ first really came into the forefront of martial arts, it was like just Brazilians. And he was one of the first, him, Richard Norton, a bunch of other people, like the old school generation. All these guys are in their 60s and whatever now. So he was doing some training and he at the time was going around to the different military units and teaching them all the BJJ and the ground fighting. And he really kind of revolutionized like that, putting it into the mainstream culture. And I was talking to him like, yeah, I want to join the military and I love doing all this sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, clearance diver. He's like, no, you want to be one of the commandos. I'm like, oh, okay. Why? He's like, because they're the guys that just keep going. It's like, all right, sweet, no worries. So then I think I would have been like 19, 20 at the time. So I'm just like, cool, I'm a commando now. That's what I'm doing, And then for the next probably 6 years, my interest in doing military and my music career and aspiration were kind of like leapfrogging each other. So it was like the band was doing really well. We were getting signed. We were doing shows and stuff like that. And then that would kind of stagnate. And I'm like, all right, now I'm going to focus on doing military stuff. I'm going to do some training. I'm going to investigate what it's like, blah, blah, blah. And I got to a point where I'm like, okay, like you're 26 now. You're going to be 27 next year. Like you need to choose. Like you need to double down on something, And I'd just done my CrossFit level 1 at the time. I'm like, right, that's it. I'm going to put this military thing to bed and I'm going to be like a CrossFit coach. I'm going to travel the country teaching, blah, 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 blah. And the girl I was with was like, whoa, what do you mean you're going to put this military thing to bed? I'm like, well, like if we're going to be together, obviously I'm not just going to go on a list. And she's like, well, if this is what you want to do, like we'll work it out. And that just for whatever reason cracked my reality. I'm like, oh, okay, shit. I guess maybe I've got a little bit of support. This would be nice. So as soon as I called up recruiting, they're like, oh, do you know about the DRS program? I'm like, no, what's that? And like, that was it. That was fucking, I was done. I'm just like, wait, so I can actually just like get fast tracked in there? She's like, yeah. I was like, fuck me, let's go. Right. So I did the aptitude testing and then that was fucking it. In the probably 6 months between when I first made that call and when I actually enlisted, it was probably within about the first 2 months. That girl and I have since like broke up. And I had this tremendous feeling of like, fuck, I'm literally about to uproot my entire life, leave the band, leave a successful job to go and do this fucking huge endeavor, arguably one of the hardest things in the world, literally on my own. So I was fucking terrified, man. I was scared. I was hurt from the relationship. Like wasn't really getting all that much support from family. To a degree, they were like, oh yeah, cool, good for you. But also, parents were a bit worried. My dad was really proud. He's like, cool, like you've chosen something, like that's fucking great. My mum was not like that. Yeah, and then enlisted, and then I was there, and then I was in, and that was it, and yeah, I just turned, I think I enlisted in mid-April. I just turned 27 about 2 months before. Yeah.
And that split with your missus, sorry, was that you were already in training? Or this is like waiting to go to Kapuka or something?
I think I made the call maybe like middle of the year, maybe like sort of third or fourth quarter of the year. It would have been 2013. And then I did all the enlistment sessions and the basic fitness tests and all that sort of stuff. And I think I got word that I was enlisting maybe like January or February. I just assumed that I was going to get accepted. So I started doing all the training to enlist into Kapuka and all that sort of stuff. And then, I think we broke up like December, January, something like that.
And that was your call?
No, not at all. Not at
I
all.
was going to say, like, oh,
Nope.
thanks for your support, babe. Did I tell you I'm getting in? Anyway, see ya.
See you later. No, literally quite the opposite. It was just like, yeah, cool. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just like, oh, all right. Like I literally changed my career path because I thought I had your support. Like, yeah, see ya.
You don't.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, cool.
Just
Thanks.
email. Don't
Thanks.
ever text me again. Email me only.
Almost. But yeah, so that was fun. That was fun. And look, I think the reason why it kind of felt, yeah, like I was 27, 26, 27. I didn't know shit about shit then, you know. So I thought I did, as we probably all do when we're that age. But yeah, I sort of, even then, I never really felt like I had all that much support from the people in my life that really mattered to me. You know, I had support from friends. Like I remember all my friends were just like, man, this is so fucking good. Like good for you. Even like probably half my bandmates were just like, man, this is so good. The other half were like, oh man, this really sucks. Like I miss you and all that, you know, but the overwhelming majority of my friends were just so supportive, which is fantastic. The support I guess I was really craving, which I'd never received anyway, in my opinion and my perspective, was I guess from my real from my parents, you know. Yeah, I mean, while we're here, we're being candid, you know, like my dad was supportive in his own way and in the way that he knew how, which was like, hey, son, you know, you're 26, you're 27, you've chosen a career path and that's awesome. You know, and I'm really proud of you for that, you know. My mum, I just know she's going to watch this and we're going to have a fucking awkward conversation about this afterwards. But look, she was as supportive as I think she felt she could have been. You know, there was the obvious, I'm worried about you. You know, you want to do this really dangerous job. You know, why can't you just be a
Personal trainer.
well, I was like, why don't you go and be an officer? You know, why don't you be a lawyer in the army? Like, why don't you do literally anything other than what you actually want to do? I'm like, well, because I don't want to do those things, you know. And you know, and look, she was on her own. She, I don't think she had a partner at the time after her and my dad separated, but it was like 13 years later kind of thing. And, you know, she was just like, well, like, what about me? What am I going to do? And my initial response was, I don't know.
Like, fine. What am I, a scientist?
Yeah, like if I didn't say it in this many words, but my kind of my thought process was like, oh, you're a grown ass woman, like fucking sort it out. Like I'm out here, you know, coming into kind of my own evolution, my own manhood at 27 years old. Like I got to sort my own shit out first, you know. So that was, yeah, that was interesting to kind of deal with, feeling like I was really looking for the support of the people that, and I think as humans, we, irrespective of the relationship we have with our parents, there is something spiritual, energetic, biological in us that wants that care and that nurturing and that support from them. And I've seen this in the work that I do with sections. So many people have got deep, deep trauma from their parents. And I'm talking like abuse level trauma, like really, really shitty stuff. And as much as it's fuck that guy, fuck that person, fuck that woman, whatever they did to me, this, that, and the other, there's still a level of healing that is necessary for them to go, yeah, actually, I still wanted their love. I still wanted their care. I wanted their approval. That's a big thing we see as well, is people overcompensating to get the approval of a parent, you know. So yeah, there's a part of me, and it wasn't until after I got out of the army that I had my fucking huge breakthroughs of actually going, yeah, wow, this is kind of why I did that, you know. So yeah, going into it, there was definitely a part of me that was like, wow, like why can't you just be fucking supportive? You're like, hey, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm nervous, but also I'm like really proud of you for doing this, and I want you to succeed, kind of thing. I just never really felt like I received that. I'm sure there's a different version of that story from one or both parents, and that's fine. But perception is reality, right? So yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask you, do you think that was? I'll make a statement first, right? Because I got two kids, and I got like childhood was significant for me. I didn't realize it at the time because I thought I was like, it's normal, I guess. But like my dad's dad left when my dad was like 13, on the cusp of being a man. You know what I mean? So he had no dad. He's gone. So my dad's better version of that was, well, I'm gonna be here, but I'm not gonna leave. But then he maybe hadn't dealt with whatever, so he was violent. He used to fucking belt us around all the time. My version of being a dad is, well, I'm definitely not leaving. I'm definitely not going to belt my kids around. But sometimes I'm fucking real short and grumpy, and I can yell at the kids sometimes. So for me, I'm like, I wonder in 20 years, 30 years, they're sitting on a fucking podcast, like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking dad, he just fucking yelled at me and I didn't feel safe in my own house emotionally or whatever. So it always fascinates me, hey, because I watch it sometimes in my own life and I watch it in other people. And you're right, man, there's a significant amount of childhood trauma in our kind of jobs, hence what drives them to be in those sort of places. But anyway, point I'm trying to make is, when you look at your mum and dad, do you see a bit of that? And for example, do you think maybe that was a communication thing from your mum, not an emotional support thing? I'm not trying to fucking psych you here or anything. Say, hey,
no, mate, this is things that I've thought about deeply through spiritual means, through plant medicine, through breathwork journeys. Like I've been to the dark places of my own psyche and trauma. Like I'm all over it.
Yeah, it's not
almost to an intellectualizing point of view.
Tom, I never thought about it.
Wow, that's a revelation right here, live on a podcast. No, look, I deeply understand that my parents lived their life and expressed and communicated to me through their own, only at the level of their own capability.
Yeah.
And also through their own traumas. I don't know too much about my dad's childhood. I don't know too much about his parents. But he did, and he's doing the best he knows how. And I don't hold anything against either of my parents for that. My mum, I know she had a pretty rough upbringing. Her parents came over from Italy on the boat. Her dad was like I love both my grandparents, but I also knew my grandfather. I knew the sort of man that he was behind closed doors, and I got inklings of the sort of man that he was through stories from my mum and the family, of what he was like when they were growing up. So I deeply understand that. Like she didn't know any better. She didn't have a fucking, and she used to say this to me all the time. I don't have a fucking handbook for this. I'm like, yeah, I get it. No worries. So she was doing all that she knew, and I think the resentment that I had, and to a degree still have with that, is, well, like, I'm trying to express to you what's going to help me, what's going to work for me, and also what isn't working for me. And a lot of the time that was dismissed or ignored. But again, it comes back to, well, they didn't get the opportunity to speak up to their parents and be like, hey, the way you speak to me doesn't really work for me. I'd really like you to speak to me this way, and that's going to get the best result from me. Because then it was just like, So when a different version of them, their own child, comes to them and says that, the only model they have for dealing with that is either step outside their comfort zone and try something new at the risk of fucking it up, or go back to what they know, even if it's unproductive. Because safety, even in discomfort, is still more comfortable than doing something brand new, even if the result might be better. Like, well, hang on, this isn't great, and I know this, but at least it's familiar. Yeah, and this is the pattern that we would see, again, the work we do with section, with relationships, with addiction or habits, all that sort of stuff. It's like, this doesn't serve me, but it's familiar. So there's a level of comfort in that. And I saw that with my own relationship patterns. I saw that with relationship patterns with my mum as well, with friends, with other people. Again, the men's work that I do outside of section, there's safety in familiarity. And on a nervous system level, nervous system safety is literally what your brain is seeking. It's what it's searching out, and it will do it in whatever fucking means it can, whether it's addiction, whether it's, relationship patterns, like whatever it is, it will seek safety and certainty. Like, this is a bad thing, but I know exactly what's coming next and I can predict that. And therefore there's no what's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I've come to a lot of the same conclusions about like the central nervous system. I mean, it's not new,
Yeah.
but we've discovered it through actual fucking living. But man, it all comes back to that central nervous system, bro, because that's where your emotions come from. Your emotions are just chemicals; they get released by your central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, man, it all comes back to that, man. Which all comes back to sleep, diet, exercise, meditate, rehabilitate, hydrate.
It's simple shit, and when your nervous system is regulated, then you've got more of a capacity to actually go, okay, yeah, actually this isn't serving me. I'm going to change this, and I've started to see this in the last, sort of 5 to 8 years of getting out of the army, and like relationships. It's like if I'm acting from a trigger, nothing's going to get fucking achieved. Because then afterwards you've got to do the repair from the upset, and then you've actually got to go into the fact of what happens. Because in the moment, if you can kind of regulate or separate and go like, hey, I'm starting to feel a bit elevated from this right now. Something's going on for me. I don't know what it is yet, or I know this is going on, so I'm just going to put a circuit breaker in here and I'll come back to it afterwards. Then you can speak from a place of, hey, this is what was going on for me. Now that I'm down regulated, I can see it clearly, and I can either take ownership or I can say, hey, when this was said, this is the reaction that I got. This is how I want this handled differently next time because of my own shit or whatever it might be. So, and that nervous system regulation is paramount. And this is what I certainly try to give back to other people, is that heightened sense of that heightened and that elevated nervous system, again, in the work that we do with section or even the men's work, to bring up what's there, get that shit to kind of bubble to the surface. And then we actually look at that, observe it, and then we sort of hold the mirror up and be like, all right, cool. Now that we're down regulated, now we can actually deal with this, see what's actually going on.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Hey, you almost got to like reverse engineer it, like induce a state of survival, panic, fight, flight, freeze. Fight, flight, freeze.
Well, mate, I mean that's what, and from my fucking handful of experiences on selection course, and from speaking to the people who are running selection courses, and you would know this in detail. Well, this is the whole point of it. Is like, let's put you under an immense amount of pressure and actually see your operating system. Let's see what the blueprint is and see if that works for us. See if we can align that, or if there's enough clay there to kind of mold it into what we want. And I try to put myself in those situations deliberately to kind of work out what is actually still there. But that's what we kind of give back, and that's what I want to give back to other people, because I had so many profound experiences from being in that stressful situation, not just on selection, but outside in life, and actually going, oh, wow, I wouldn't have actually discovered this unless I was under that immense amount of pressure. And now I see that that's some shit that I need to work on. So now I've got the tools to actually go and work on that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, man. And I think that's almost like foundational, all that kind of work. If you don't have that physical element, you're just trying to fight your brain. You can't beat your brain at being your brain. You know what I mean?
No.
You can't just meet emotions with emotions. In my opinion, you've got to. There has to be like I think somatic is the word.
Yeah.
It has to be. Yeah, it's got to be a somatic solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just. It's like smoke, you know what I mean? It's like you got to get to the source of the smoke. You can do this as much as you want, but then the smoke comes back.
Yeah, you can't logic your way out of an emotion, and you can't. Yeah, particularly, I don't know if you've read the book. This was going to be a good one too. The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh yeah. I listened to the audiobook a couple of years back. Yeah, It was really good.
Yeah,
it was intense, man. There was a couple of bits. That you can see something's coming, and I was like, no.
Not ready for this.
No, I don't want to hit. No, don't tell me.
Yeah, but it's true, man. Like the body, and again, through the experiences I've been in personal development courses and also facilitating that sort of stuff, there is a physical release sometimes that is necessary. You can sit down in a classroom and death by PowerPoint your way into understanding what goes on for you and your own shit and your own traumas and your own et cetera, et cetera. But unless you're actually physically going, oh, okay, yeah, this is like I'm recreating this stress, I'm recreating this heightened nervous system effect, and now I'm actually giving myself the recorrective experience in the same realm of physicality. Because this is why I think, no, I'm not going to shit on therapy because I've done my fair share of therapy and I recommend it to people, you know, if the physical somatic experiences is not what they want. But the whole like, oh yeah, just breathe your way, you know, regulate your breathing your way into a fucking calm state of mind and then like work it out. Like to a point, sure. But if you're re-experiencing trauma and you're reliving somatic experience in your body, yeah, and this happens so often in relationships as well. Or like I'll speak for myself. I'll hear something that my partner might have said, and that puts me back into a relationship experience I've had years ago, where it was like it induces that fight or flight, or that okay, like something's about to happen. I need to fucking guard up here. Then I get like that, and breathing my way through it isn't necessarily going to help. There needs to be some sort of physical release. That's like not punching a wall, obviously, doing anything like that. But there needs to be this, okay, I need to like go and I need to go for a run, or I need to
Go back to the homeostasis. So what do they call it in psychology? The zone of tolerance?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Green zone with your brain, your breathing, all that sort of stuff, you know, so it needs, but then at the same time, there needs to be this kind of physical, like, hey, this is what's happened. Like I need to kind of discharge this energy that's in here. You know, it's finding healthy ways to do that as well. So yeah, the body hangs on to, and again, I've seen this so much. You know, one of the men's work courses that I did, which was really the kind of catalyst for my own, not the catalyst, it was one of the big shifts that I had. It was like a 3.5 day retreat. You know, a big part of that was that, I think they call it psychodrama, where basically they induce, you talk about your trauma, and then they induce the same effect. So basically get your nervous system heightened to a point of fight or flight and adrenalized, almost have you reliving the experience. And then at the point of impact, point of trauma, they basically kind of pause it and they talk you through actually giving yourself the recorrect experience. You know, so there were people who'd experienced abuse, and they took them to rest.
Oh my God.
They got them to the point where they started to feel elevated, right? And then they got them to basically fight off or push away their abuser, so that the nervous system and the body started to realize, oh wow, I've actually had this somatic recorrective experience, you know, which does an incredible amount for actually healing the neural pathways and whatever's left over in the body. And, you know, I've seen men, and through the work that we do, men and women, literally change people because they've had that somatic release because of these things that have been stored in their body. Their nervous system changes, and it then perceives threats in the world very, very differently. And yeah, man, like it's so necessary to go through that sort of stuff.
Sounds like an EMDR with a bit of, you know, with obviously that somatic element as well. Yeah,
I haven't done EMDR. I've heard it's really, really powerful, and I definitely want to check it out for myself.
Yeah, I've done a bit. It's quite good, man. Yeah. I've done therapy for like fucking years, man. Like almost a decade now. And yeah, it's probably been one of the best things I've done. That's given me the most traction. Yeah, I got a little list of things that have been like the best and done the most, but that's been a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But dude, I want to get into your military career in a minute, but let's just rewind just for a second. Back to you were talking about bullying when you were a kid because you were a fat kid. What does that look like? What does bullying look like as a kid? Was it they just fucking belting you around, or they just laughing at you? You excluded? Like, what does it look like?
It was never. I think I might have been, you know, kicked and pushed and punched a couple of times, but it was never like extreme physical violence, which I think there's there's a sick part of me that's kind of like, man, I kind of wish my dad or some kids at school kind of belted me around a little bit, so I was a little more physically resilient. Like the only physical kind of altercations I've had have been doing fucking military defense and combatives and shit like that. So but no, it wasn't physical bullying. It was always just like teasing and laughing and pointing, having rocks thrown at me, and just everybody looking at me and pointing to the fat kid and laughing, and just and it was always verbal bullying and stuff like that. And that went on, probably from like 7 years old, so like grade 1, grade 2, all the way up till about 13. Just trying to fight off saying kids are cunts. Technically, I haven't said it, so we can. But in my experience, I had a really, really awful time with that. Yeah, I'm not really sure what possesses kids to do that, and I think that's what's kind of made me such a staunch advocate for being disrespectful to other people. Like I try to avoid the comment section like the plague, and I certainly stop myself from typing comments just to shit on other people, because I had such an experience in my childhood of what that was like. But no, it was never physical. It was always just bullying, harassment, teasing, and all that sort of stuff. Just because I like donuts. I still like donuts now. I just go to the gym more.
Yeah. Yeah. And did your parents pick up on that? Were they saying that at school and helping you through it, sort of thing, or was that kind of where you felt you maybe lacked that support?
There was one kind of core memory that I had where I remember I came home from school one night and pretty sure it was my dad. He said, "Hey, Daz, don't say that. Don't do this. I've had a hard day," and I just lost them. "Oh, you think I've had a good day as well?" And I just like burst into tears. I think my mum, she maybe like cleaned up the dinner plates or whatever. I just sat there for like 40 minutes crying, and my dad just kind of held space for me, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I kind of told him there's two or three particular kids at school that was fucking making my life miserable. And then my parents kind of went to the school and said, "Hey, this is what's going on. We need to fucking sort something like this out." And one of the kids was actually like a family friend. It was like part of the Italian culture. They're called paesana, so it was like fucking his parents knew my grandparents, and they were fucking friends in the same village in Italy or some shit. So yeah, that kind of got brought to school. But no, look, I don't really recall how supportive my parents were in like after that, but I definitely remember in that moment my dad really just kind of being there, and just like he didn't try and fix, he didn't try and solve, he was just there kind of just letting me process and do my thing. I was like 10 at the time, and I think that had been the first time I'd ever actually said something going on. I don't think I ever said anything while I was in primary school. But this was also like my first 6 months at a brand new school. I finished my previous school in grade 4. I went to a new school at grade 5. So I'd only been there maybe 6 months. I sort of said that was happening. From memory, that was the first inkling they knew anything was going on in terms of me being picked on or anything like that. And it kind of went on in various forms over the next sort of few years, and effectively until I started losing weight when I was about 13 years old. And I discovered rowing because I was a good private school boy.
Sorry, where'd you grow up, bro? Sydney? Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
As you guys say, yeah.
Yeah. Deconstructed coffee capital of the world.
Just eating coffee grinds.
Just literally they're paying $18 a fucking gram for it. Yeah,
I fucking can't stand Melbourne. Like I love it for like a good night out, some good restaurants like Chin Chin or some other fucking place. But just Victoria, Melbourne. It's just like I feel like it's just it's like a fucking experiment. It's like a lefty experiment down there. I don't know.
Where'd you grow up?
Sydney.
Yeah, tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Eastern suburbs of Sydney too. So
Yeah, right. Okay. So it wasn't the fully shit end then. Yeah.
no, anything fucking west of Anzac Parade was shit. Fucking snob cunt. Anyway, sorry, I digress, please.
That's all right. I don't even know what we're talking about. Deconstructed coffee.
Melbourne.
Private school.
Melbourne.
Yeah, I was getting bullied until I started losing weight at about 12 or 13 and started, getting into rowing training. I'm like, oh, actually I don't mind this at all, And even then, after that, once I started, because I did pretty well in my rowing career. Like I got to the college team kind of thing. But even then, it was like, oh yeah, that's Darren. He used to be the fat kid. I'm like, what? It's fucking.
You're like, no, it wasn't.
It was like 6 years ago. What are we still fucking hanging on that for? Like, and then the flip side of that was like, now all the cool kids want to be my friend because I've like lost fucking 10 kilos. I'm like, fuck you. You made my life like you literally made me contemplate suicide at fucking 10 years old.
Really?
And now you want to fucking be like, oh, this is Dazzy's fucking one of us. I'm like, I'm not one of you, cunt.
We used to rough house a bit,
we're fucking,
but
like we're not the same. Like, fuck is this? So. But yeah, man, no, there were days when I was like 10, and again, this is probably the first time. Hi, mum and dad. This is the first time they've heard of it. But yeah, man, there were times at 10 years old where I'm just like, I don't want to go to school. Like I genuinely don't want to go to school. And if I'm going to be made to go to school, if this is not going to get any better, like what's my out here? My parents are making me go to school. It feels like a fucking war zone. I'm in there. I'm fucking looking over my shoulder. I'm in a heightened state of awareness here because I don't know who the fuck's going to point the finger and laugh and do all that sort of stuff. The teachers are basically just put me in a room with these bullies, and the bullies were just like, we don't like the jokes that you make. And the teacher's like, so Darren, do you think you can stop making jokes? I'm like,
sorry. Also, sorry I'm fat.
Yeah, sorry I'm fat. Sorry I'm making jokes. I'll try and be better so that you can stop making me fucking contemplate ending my life at 10 years old. Sorry, my bad. So I'm just like, what do I do here? And again, at 10 years old, I didn't know shit from shit, but it's like, this was a very real feeling for me, yeah. And then I'm like 17 years old. That's fucking, we don't have anything in common.
He's a mad lad, Dazzo.
Yeah, we fucking love Daz. He's cool.
You're mad on the piss.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, like high school, I didn't, and around that time, like my parents separated. I think, the last couple of years of high school, weren't sort of all that fun for me either. And, fuck, now that I look back on it, my childhood wasn't that great. Thanks for bringing that up again, Tom. Appreciate it.
Well, I think it's important for people to hear because, you fast forward, someone has a childhood like that. Worse. Right? And I've got friends who've had some fucking heinous things that I just wouldn't talk about on this podcast in their childhood, right? Close personal friends. And then, they've turned into some fucking very impressive individuals. And I've done some work with these guys.
Yeah.
And I've got to reiterate, I'm like, dude, the dude I'm talking to now is not the fucking what you are now. It's the kid back then.
Yeah.
The fucking 10-year-old that was like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, man.
That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to you, the fucking hard dude that's literally, gone and killed people and done thousands of deployments, all the other things you've done in your life. That's not who I'm talking to. So I think it's important, man, because, we're all the biggest, baddest, toughest dude ever now. But there's that little part of you that's not. You're the tough dude now because you're protecting that part.
The scared 10-year-old.
100%,
man. 100%. That inner child work is something I haven't fully delved into yet. And there's a part of me that's kind of terrified to really, like, I saw there's a part of me, healing is never done, but I genuinely feel like that's going to be my next kind of go underground, do my own version of that work, and really kind of get in there and get into the, a therapist one time kind of described, the person as like a building, like a big kind of skyscraper, and the work that we do gets into the basement level and kind of digs up all the muck and like rebuilds the foundation, that sort of stuff. And I just kind of know that the next version of whatever it is that I do in terms of my own sort of healing journey is going to be that inner child work and really, and again, look, I wasn't fucking beaten. I wasn't abused. There was no, definitive trauma or anything like that, but it impacted me. And this was one of the big things that I was told by a therapist when I got out of the army, and he said to me, he goes, your pain is worthy. And that really fucking rocked me, because I was like, I was a bit sad. I got medically discharged from the army. I tried selection 3 times. I didn't get into the career I wanted to. Like my back hurts. DVA are fucking me. I don't like my fucking relationship right now. My parents, blah, 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 blah. But, also there's fucking dudes have gone over there and had fucking 3 limbs blown off, and there's fucking starving children in Africa, and on and on and on and on and on. He's like, your pain is worthy.
You're not in Africa, cunt.
Yeah, like just because everyone else has got worse shit than you doesn't mean that your shit isn't experienced. You're not experiencing your stuff as painful. You're allowed to have that,
and you're not taken from them either.
I'm not taking from them. I'm also the real kind of breakthrough was actually not trying to dismiss, not trying to repeat the patterns that I'd experienced to myself. Which is like, hey, I'm going through some stuff. It's like, oh, you're too sensitive. Toughen up a little bit. Inadvertently, that's exactly what I was doing to myself. I did it physically. It's like, hey, doc, I've got this little thing in my neck. Can you check it out? It's like, yeah, you've got 3 degenerated discs, medical discharge. I'm like, oh, well, okay, I guess it is bad.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, I've got this kind of thing that comes up whenever somebody says this or does that. It's like, oh, yeah, actually, that's because you've been fucking XYZ, things that have happened in your childhood. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that is kind of bad, So not repeating the patterns, and the only patterns that I ever kind of observed, which was dismissing of feelings. Inadvertently, I'd recreated that pattern for myself, which kind of gives me hope for, when I have kids. I'm 40 now. I better get my skates on.
Roller skates?
Yeah.
I've never heard that expression.
Get your skates on, really?
My skates on.
Really?
It must be a fucking Melbourne thing. You guys are a bit funny down there, eh?
Yeah.
Put your roller skates on, get my takeaway coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Go attend the protest rally, and then we'll go to university.
Sign a petition. Get a fucking degree in political studies. Yeah. Knowing that that's kind of what I've, started to see in myself, now I can break that cycle for any future kids that I have. So that kind of gives me some solace in that. Good. Yeah.
Could you have not talked for like another 10 seconds so I could finish this mouthful of nuts?
No, we're just going to sit here in the discomfort, Tom, because that's how we grow.
What's that thing you said that when you make noise, like the noise?
ASMR? Yeah.
I won't do it.
I was just waiting for the 100-meter snail race that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
No, this is a serious podcast about mental health. We take this seriously.
Don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Bro, tell me about the band, man, because you play drums and...
Correct.
You played a few minutes ago and you're pretty good. Like you're playing a Tool song. Like Danny Carey is not an easy drummer
He's not.
to emulate. So
no. Yeah, man, I've been playing drums since about 27 years now. And yeah, the band that I was in, I think I was in that band for maybe like 4 years.
What was it called?
We were called Branch Arterial. So I'm not sure.
On Spotify?
Yeah, would be. I don't think they've got any of the stuff from when I was there. I think they've.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, I think they've deleted that memory, which is a shame. But no, we did an EP and we did a couple of singles, played a bunch of shows, and then I left and the band kind of went on. It was me and one of the guitarists left, and then I think the bass player had a really serious motorcycle accident.
Shit.
And the singer got really, really sick. So they were kind of on hiatus and like underground for like, I want to say the best part of like a few years. And then they came out with an album and they did a lot of hype around the album and they released the album. They did like an album launch gig and then they broke up because there was a fair bit of infighting between a couple of the members. And I'm still in touch with probably 2 or 3 of the members. Good dudes. Yeah, we went through a lot together. We started literally from the ground up, which was really cool. So, yeah, man, look, I had a lot of fun doing that. And look, it's the old thing. It's like if I knew back then what I know now, I would have handled myself a lot differently and I would have made different decisions. But that's the journey of it, man. I think I did the best that I felt I knew how to do at the time and had a good time doing it and really, sort of honed my craft and learned a lot about the industry and about dynamics in a relationship with 5 people,
Yeah. on tour and whatever. You guys would have gone on tour, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look,
Interstate,
interstate,
maybe,
yeah. I don't
to the
know
next city.
I don't know if we can call it a tour, so to speak. But yeah, look, we did pretty well, man. Like we went to Adelaide a bunch of times. We were down in Tassie. We did Sydney a lot. We came up to Queensland. We actually won a fan voted competition to play a gig with a Brisbane band called Dead Letter Circus.
Get fucked.
Yeah, which I think
Luke Williams.
Sam I think they've since passed on.
What, Dead Letter?
Yeah, well, I mean, they haven't done anything for a long, long time.
Oh, fuck, they did that last album, like, fuck, man, 5 years ago?
Yeah, it was a while. But no.
Maybe longer.
I got lessons from Luke when I was up in Brisbane. And yeah, no, it's fucking sick drummer, great dude. But no, we won a fan. I think it was just after they released their second album, Catalyst Fire, I think. And it was up at the Cooley Hotel. So it was us and an Adelaide band. So we came up, did the show with them, and
that's fucking unreal.
It was them. They were headlining. It was another band called Jericho as well, which I knew two of the members from Jericho because I used to play in a band with them. And then my band and an Adelaide band. So yeah, man, like we did all right, which was really cool. So
did you open for Dead Letter, or you just played on the same set?
No, so it was the Adelaide band opened, and then we played second, and then Jericho, and then Dead Letter. And it was New Year's Eve show as well at the Cooley Hotel. So Dead Letter brought in New Year's Eve.
What year? Sorry, was this?
2000. I want to say New Year's 2012 to 13.
Fucking hell.
No, maybe year before 2011 to 12. I think.
Dead Letter's like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, man. They're sick.
Space on the Wall is probably one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah. That era, that first two albums is like.
This is the Warning album was fucking mint. Yeah,
peak Dead Letter for me. Yeah.
But if they're listening, your latest one was fucking shit.
I didn't say that. I'm a fan. Please come back with something new.
Please come back with some heavy stuff.
Yeah. Nah, look, they're good dudes. I met Kim. So we were recording
Kim Benzie, I think.
Yeah, Kim Benzie. We were recording a single at Sing Sing South in Melbourne, which is the studio that was run by Forrester Saville, and we were recording with his sort of offsider Dan Murtagh. And in one of our breaks for drum tracking, I went across the road to get some food, and Kim was there. I think he was doing some pre-pro with Forrester. And yeah, had a chat to Kim, and yeah, great guy. Bit of a space cadet.
Yeah, I 100%, mate.
Yeah, just kind of just like would talk to you, but just kind of like look off to the side a little bit. I'm like, but no, lovely dudes, really, really good Aussie band. Back in the day when it was Cog, Butterfly Effect, Carnival, Dead Letter, like the quintuplet of fucking just solid Aussie prog rock.
Dude, what about fuck. Can't think of them. Another fucking awesome Aussie band. One of their better songs was Dear Enemy. They're like a late 90s, early 2000s, man.
Dear Enemy.
Damn it.
No bells.
No, keep going. I'll find them. I'll find them. Yep.
But yeah, no, the band was good, man. Like
Super Heist.
Oh yeah. Oh, bro, Super Heist were literally the first influence I had when I was ever playing drums. It was just this meat and potatoes, straight up. So a bit of trivia for you. So Vitar, the keys player, he was in Jericho. Yeah. And he kind of, because of his, obviously he's really good, and because of the way that he worked with guys and his connections, he really he was the kind of cornerstone of Jericho in terms of bringing them up. And also Jericho were just fucking sick in their own right because they had this prog rock, almost, it was Middle Eastern inspired kind of music. I'll play them to you afterwards. They're fucking peak.
Okay, sweet.
But yeah, no, Super Heist was fucking the Prize Recruit, their first album, changed my whole musical landscape. Just incredible.
That song Dear Enemy is my favorite song ever. Like,
oh wow.
All genres, all just anything. It's my favorite song.
That's a lot. That's
fucking
a big
love
call.
It.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
so good.
Yeah, cool.
You know why?
Tell me.
This is probably a good transition.
Yeah.
Because in like some of the early SOTG like company rotation videos, they would have grown up around then. Those guys in 2007, 8, 9 kind of thing. And there's a few guys in the unit that you might know from those circles that have played in bands and whatnot. But yeah, like those were my early music influences leading into my military career. So that song was in one of those videos, and it was just a big gunfight, and I was like, man, fucking put me in, coach.
Memories. Yeah. I actually got asked to play drums from a guy you might know as well, ex Green Hat, and he's like, hey man, I'm putting the band back together. I'm going to play bass. Do you want to play drums for us? And I had to listen. And I was like, not really my thing, but thanks anyway.
Initials MB?
No.
Okay. No.
We'll talk about that offline. I mean, he hasn't got PID anymore, and he's got quite a public profile, but yeah, we'll talk about it afterwards. The band was good, man. Look, I still play drums. It's an incredible, physical release for me as well, and I kind of toss up between the what should I do? Should I be learning more things? Should I be doing this? Or do I just want to go in there and fucking get the shit out of some shit for 2 hours? So it depends on the day and how I'm feeling and what's going on with the business. But I try to keep it as an enjoyment as opposed to a burden or a thing I need to do. Because I got fucking 15 grand's worth of gear sitting there in a rehearsal studio, and then all of a sudden I'm putting this pressure on myself to fucking be a certain way. It's like, come on, just go and enjoy the thing that you've worked hard for 27 years to achieve, So, yeah.
It's interesting. I want to get to your military career, but I did the same thing with my little models. I had I've still got it, a YouTube channel of stuff where I'd paint.
No way.
I'd do time-lapse stuff for me, like doing some components or show them my little minis.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot of pressure. I was like, and I got like 30 or 50 subscribers or something, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, I can monetize the channel. I can easy set, revenue. I can have fun doing my hobby and get paid for it. And then I just felt a lot of pressure. I had this stuff going on, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Well, this is for me.
Shiny thing syndrome.
100%. So I just shut it down. I just stopped. Like, it's still there, but I don't film it. I just paint them because I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I don't put them anywhere.
That's it. Yeah.
I talk about them on the fucking podcast all the time. People are just like, fuck, just show us your fucking models and I never want to see them again. just do it and we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But mate, military career, dude. So obviously, 2013.
Enlisted, yeah.
And you've watched Iraq, Afghanistan, those sort of things going on around that time, right? So obviously that's an aspiration for you. And then, hit me, mate, going in DRS 2013.
Yep. For 2014 minor selection. Yeah. Your selection.
Well, yeah. I was just going to say, I knew you were in there somewhere.
I didn't actually know that you and I were on the same selection until our mutual friend said, oh, yeah, we're all in the same selection together. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, you left early. I'm like, oh, shit.
You weren't there.
Appreciate the reminder. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, remember how you didn't do that? Yeah, I fucking remember.
Yeah. Remember how you got it? Yeah, I fucking remember. Yeah, thanks, mate. I actually make that joke with him. I'm just like, how many times did you do selection? He's just like, oh, just once. I'm like, I mean, I did it 3 times, so technically I'm better at it. So he's like, yeah, but I'm better at passing. I'm like, yeah, I did that to myself. I deserve it. Yeah. So enlisted 2013, Kapuka, Singer, all that sort of stuff. Kapuka was what it was. I'm not going to sit here and say Kapuka Warriors. Singleton, I fucking hated Singleton. Fucking hated it. Not because of the stuff we had to do. Well, it was the job, but because of the people. It was the young kids, young boys club. And I was fucking bullied. I was getting fucking bullied by bloody 21, 23-year-olds. For being a 27-year-old guy that didn't want to go to fucking Newey on the weekend and fuck whores and throw up in hotel rooms. I just wanted to go into Sydney and get a hotel room or stay at my mate's place by myself and fucking watch movies and eat ice cream and they're just like, oh, fucking coward, fucking pussy, But also I had aspirations. I'm like, no, I want to go to selection. I want to keep myself good. I don't want to fuck around with this. So I'm 27, 12 for this fucking shit, So consequently, I spent a lot of time on my own. I could count on one finger the amount of fucking friends I had through Singleton, and I just fucking I couldn't wait to get out of there because I knew that the AIT program was next. And that was at Holsworthy with the fucking dudes in 2 Commando, learning the shit, getting fit, doing that sort of stuff,
Right, yeah.
So I couldn't wait for that. But Singleton, man, I fucking hated it. I was getting fucking reamed for... I had the 2 Commando logo on my phone as a wallpaper because I'm, because it's like vision board shit. Anybody who's had any sort of aspiration, the reticular activation system, you put it in front of you, you see it all the time. Like, that's where I'm going. And I was getting like, might as well get a fucking tattoo of it. You haven't even fucking made it yet. I'm like, I'm literally just fucking standing here checking my email. You walk past and see a logo, and then you're just like, faggot. I'm like, but again, young kids, 23-year-old, it's like nobody was old enough or mature enough to have their own sense of identity yet. So they just fucking lumped together to create a hive mind. And it was the loudest who got all the followers. And if the loudest just happened to be somebody that just went around pointing fingers, then everybody else fucking followed suit. Oh, look at this fucking guy. Yeah, look at this fucking guy. I'm like, sure, kids, no worries.
And 27, it's funny, man. You look at like 27. I remember when I was 27. That's young as fuck.
Yeah, I didn't know shit. I didn't know shit about shit. I just turned 40 fucking a month ago. I still don't know shit about shit.
But they're looking at a 27-year-old like you're a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
But now you're like, I'm 40, and it feels like I'm a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
But I thought a 27-year-old would be like,
That's just it, So I'm just getting fucking, and it threw me all the way back to that fucking childhood of it's like, man, again, like here I am playing the fucking big boys game, getting picked on by the same fucking cunts again, just fucking hating it and feeling like I don't belong here, and there was a level of not then, but there was a level of arrogance later when I failed my first selection, got sent to the battalion, that I reflect on now. And I don't want to say I'm ashamed of, but I look back and I'm like, oh wow, I wish I acted differently then. But through Singleton, I just fucking kept my head down, man. Did what I needed to do, engage where I needed to, pulled away when I didn't. And then went to AITs at Holsworthy, which is, I think it was called the Accelerated Infantry Training Program. So it was basically for people who weren't infantry, or for the DRS people who wanted to get some basic infantry skills so that when they got to selection, it wasn't such a culture shock. Because that was, I think, the last year where they did CMAT, which was like, 14 days of selection, and then they did the commando movements and tactics phase, which was like the field phase.
6 weeks of selection.
Yeah.
It's just basically 6 weeks.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But that 8-week training program of just getting fucking flogged twice a day PT, and having big boys rules as well, and actually feeling like independent people, not just fucking trainee soldiers. And I was there with people who were all like-minded, wanted to do selection, wanted to put in the fucking work, and understood that, hey, we've all got to work together as a team here. And as soon as I got there, I'm just like, this is where I belong. Like, this is the sort of attitude with the sort of people that I need to be around for my own mental health, for my own career. This is it for me. I'm so glad I went through all that sort of nonsense before and tolerated that to get to a place now where I'm like, okay, I feel like I belong here. This is actually this was that embodied sense of not deserving, but like, yeah, cool. This is your aspirations. It's like personified. It's right here. That guy wearing the green beret, this person over here, the buildings, just everything. Like this is it. So that was fantastic, man. I really, really, really loved that. And then got on selection, fucking bunged up my knee after fucking 3 days, and that was it. It was over.
What did you
mate?
What was the event?
It was I felt it on the 3.2K run. So it's literally in the.
That was brutal. That was hot as shit.
It was not enjoyable. As good as it fucking can be.
That's the closest in my life I've ever gone to going down.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And then like I felt just my fucking knee start to seize up, my ITB, and all the way up through there and all that sort of shit. And made the time, got back, and then it was basically just a fucking slow descent to the end, mate. And we got to that first gut check session when we went to
Mildura.
What was it?
Mildura,
yeah.
Mildura?
Near Canberra. Mildura is in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Victoria. But Mildura, the Canberra training area where they were doing nav.
I remember we could see the airport at night, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But then we did that first gut check PT session with the fucking torsion bars and then the running and the fucking crawling into the baths and shit like that.
I got photos of that.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. I'll show you after this, man. They're really good.
Please,
like, obviously not with my phone, but
here's you just fucking torsion bar.
Here you go, quick selfie.
Yeah. Hashtag passing selection. Yeah. And during that session, it was just fuck, it just got worse and worse and worse to the point where I couldn't put weight on it. And then the medic was like, "Can you continue?" I'm just like, "No." And thankfully they gave me a medical withdrawal on that, which was great. But even then, some of the people who were obviously in the DRS program who were with me at Singo, after they came off selection for their own reasons as well, like, "Would you get a fucking medical withdrawal? What the fuck for?" I'm like, "Mate, we're literally all on the fucking same boat here. Just fucking pump the brakes, okay?"
Yeah, why do you care? How someone else left selection?
Yeah, man. It astounds me how people are so, and I get this fucking what I do with section, like comments section as well. You know, people are just so focused on how shit they think other people are that they're just so compelled to tell them, like, bro, move on with your life, play with your kids, touch grass, do literally anything else, you know. But yeah, came off selection, and then we had to stay there to support you guys through the next 6 weeks of selection. And we were doing everything from putting the props up when you guys were doing the shooting drills to fucking playing enemy for you, doing it like that was all us, mate. You know, so it's like I've just come off, you know, literally spending 13 years of my life aspiring to this goal. And then they're like, "Yeah, we're just going to keep you around to help out and watch everyone else succeed." I'm like, "Cool, I'll just go fuck myself. Thanks for that."
Here's you wear your failure t-shirts. It says failure on the front. You guys have to wear these at all times. Big fucking orange one.
Yeah. No, thankfully we didn't have to do that. But
so you get hanged with like a sign around your neck.
The dunce hat. Yeah. That's how you guys saw the enemy in the bush. Is like, just look for the dunce hat.
Fucking Nazi Germany shit.
Yeah. But so I had to do that, and then obviously you guys all fucking passed selection. We were there to fucking bring you in as you fucking came off the mogs. Like, yeah, congratulations. I'm like, yeah, cool, good job, boys. Yeah, fucking claps all around. And then it was just sitting around waiting at fucking Holsworthy until the posting cycle came through. So I was there at Holsworthy. Selection was February, and I don't think I left Holsworthy until June or July.
Fucking hell.
I think. And got posted up to Brisbane, and then got up to Brizzy and started life at 6 RAR.
6, I was going to say, because you would have met Josh McDuff.
Yeah.
At 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Met him there. Duffy and I are good mates. Also, shout out to Duffy. Duffy's gone through some shit recently, and he's fucking he's getting on the fucking good bandwagon. Velocity K9, check him out. Okay, Duffy's fucking doing God's work out there, and as a human, he's putting in the work. So I love you, Josh. Good mate.
I've followed Josh's little journey, man. I'm a staunch supporter of Josh.
100%, and he's been a staunch supporter of us as well. You know, he's my fucking handler on the events, and is just fucking all around good human. So yeah, can't speak highly enough of Josh. But yeah, got up to 6, and mate. Look, it was probably the first week that I was at 6 where they had the battalion ball, and it was made to get a ticket to the ball. Just the fucking CSM at the time was just like, "You will do this."
And mandatory fun, yep.
Yeah, standard. And then I got there with the only sort of friend that I had through Singleton and through selection, who's since gone on to work in Army and then private security intelligence and contracting and stuff like that. So yeah, we got to the battalion ball. We were there, and I came up through Singleton and saw like the young boys club culture and just being fucking louts and lads, and it just wasn't for me. And then got to Holsworthy and saw the professional soldiers. I'm like, cool, this is it. Came off the back of that, feeling like a true failure at a core level. Went to the battalion and saw the grown men version of what I saw in Singleton, right? And I'm absolutely not throwing shade. At the time I was, but right now I'm not throwing shade on those guys, because I came to be friends with a lot of them. But at the time that I was in, feeling like I deserved to be at Holsworthy doing that job, and it was just circumstantial that fucking knee gave out. Now I've been lumped in this fucking boys club battalion, seeing everyone on the piss and fucking doing this, that, and the other. And I had this moment. I've spoken about this in other podcasts before, so unfortunately you're not the first. Sorry. Everybody's got a history, right?
Just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear about it. Don't ever bring that up again. Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about. I don't want to hear about your past experiences on other podcasts. Yeah. No, you're special though. I'm thinking about you the whole time.
Well, was their podcast bigger? You shouldn't even have to think about it.
It's grown significantly. Yeah, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's fine. I'm here with you now. And
Have you ever done two
important to me.
podcasts at the same time?
Not at the same time. It's a goal. But I want to go from one directly to the other.
We're not doing that together.
The Devil's podcast? No, it's not. Shouldn't do that. No, look, I looked around as I saw the fun that was happening for these guys who, and this was 2014. So some of these guys weren't too far off the back of coming back from a rotation in Afghanistan or Iraq, and they'd been through some fucking traumatic shit, so they're blowing off some steam, fucking rightly so. Get it. And I looked around at what was happening. I said to my mate, I said, I don't fucking belong here. And I walked out. And this was at like the town hall, Brizzy Town Hall or whatever it was. And I walked outside, sitting in fucking grumble bum pants, and just generally feeling fucking better because I'd been in the army since breakfast and I'd, fucking gotten chosen to go to selection like fucking 100 other cunts that year. Failed and got, lumped with a battalion as a fucking secondary prize. And this is my whole victim mentality, right? And I got out there and I'm sitting there just feeling sorry for myself. And my mate comes out. He goes, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, I don't fucking belong here. I don't want to be here. Like, I want to be where there's fucking professional soldiers. I want to be doing that job. I didn't spend half my life just to come here and be around these fucking drunken louts. This is not what I want to be doing." And credit to him, he said to me, he goes, "Mate, you know what? There's a lot of fucking excellent soldiers in there and a lot of good men. And for however long we're here before we go for selection again, you can learn a lot from these people. I hear that you're fucking hurting and this sucks and I get it, but you can either sit here and be fucking sad about it, or you can actually take advantage of the situation that we're in right now. And maybe that's not right this second, but there is a lot of good things that can come from us being here. So you need to kind of rein it in a bit and fucking get back in there, stop feeling fucking sorry for yourself, and actually start living the life, because this is where we're at. This is where we are. We're here. We're not back there. We're not going to get back there for a while. Be here."
Mm.
And I did not like hearing that, but it fucking rang true, And he was a mate, so I wasn't gonna be like, "Fuck off, cunt, what do you know?" Because he was in exactly the same boat as me. He didn't even get on selection. He hurt himself training.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah,
like AITs.
Yeah, I think he did something with his back, shoulder, or whatever. So yeah, I sort of went back in there and thanked him for it afterwards, obviously. But man, it was a kick in the ass that I needed. And, excuse me, ironically, I didn't fully learn the lesson, because the next selection I went on in 2016, I got paused about 3 days. But it was literally as they were starting DMARC. So they woke us up in the middle of the night, fucking breaching charges, and lined us all up, then read out 5 or 6 numbers, and my number was one of them. And then they walked us off to the side, and then everyone else went off and started 3 days of DMARC. And then, the training at the time was like, "Cool, you've all been buzzed. Meet back here, 0800 tomorrow morning. There's rooms here. Clean yourself up. Good night." Just fucked off. And all the other guys were just like, "Oh, well, that's that." And they just fucking sorted themselves out. I sat down with my pack on in the middle of the fucking walkway for probably about 35 minutes. Just like, it's fucking happened again.
Was this Perth or with us?
No, this was 2 Commando.
Yeah.
That was the 2016 selection.
Yep.
So I just sat there in fucking shock. Because I always had this, as everyone says when they go on selection, they're either going to carry me off in a stretcher or they're going to fucking tell me I'm not good enough, and then I'll go. I'm not telling myself I'm not good enough, And then they unceremoniously told me that I wasn't good enough, Wait, number 55, you're not good enough. Fuck off, So
at any point were you thinking like, "Fuck, there's only 5 of us left. Jeez, that was a big cull." Well done, gents.
It was absolutely not.
They really have a small...
Yeah, they're really taking 5 people here. This is and I'm one of those 5. I feel so privileged. No, it's absolutely not what was going through my head. I didn't think I was doing too badly, but obviously, it was not the case. But yeah, I was in shock. Like yeah, fuck, I haven't actually thought about it that deeply in a long time. It's the feeling of just heaviness, of just being like magnetized to the ground. Like I actually can't move because it like happened again. I'd failed. Like I had evidence that I wasn't good enough again for a second time. And that was tough, man. I think that hit me harder than the first time, where it's like, oh, I just got injured. Yeah, I'd had 13 years of aspiring to this thing, and it didn't work out because I got injured. This time I wasn't injured. Body was in fucking good shape. I was 2.5 years older, with 2.5 years of infantry experience under my belt, and therefore 2.5 years of extra injuries, because that's what infantry does. But I was fitter, I was stronger, I was faster. I think I was 31 at the time. Yeah, it would have been 31. And then was, like I said, unceremoniously told, you're not good enough. And that fucking sucked, man. Absolutely fucking sucked. Even now, I've got this like, shut up, cunt. You didn't go on deployment. Who gives a fuck? You failed selection. Fucking life sucks, It's interesting that I remember speaking to Heston Russell about this because he used to live in the same area that I used to live in Brizzy a few years ago. And I bumped into him on the street, and I'd already sent him a message, and Hesto's been a staunch supporter of what we do from day one as well. He's helped me out with a couple of the smaller gym events when we were running those. And we just caught up for lunch one day and we were having a chat, and I was kind of expressing to him, I was only a year out of army at that point. I was like, yeah, man, it was like my whole aspiration, my whole life goal. I wanted to do it. And he was just like, oh, mate, it's just a job. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You did the job. You got the job, He's like, it's just a fucking job. You just had to go through a harder interview process. I'm just like, I didn't have anything to say to that, because that feeling, that somatic experience was still in me. And the belief that I had was like, you're a fucking failure, defined who you were. And the sad thing was that there were pockets of people back at the battalion who would voice that belief out loud about people who'd failed. Oh, fuck, couldn't make it on selection. These were never the people that went for selection. But going into that culture where it's like, and I even see this now again with section, like, oh, well, unless you wore the green or the sandy beret, don't speak. Don't speak, don't exist, don't have the letters S or F anywhere in anything that you say, because you never made it, therefore you're nothing, therefore you don't have the right to speak up about anything even remotely related to that. And it was the same culture back then. So coming off that second selection, I'm going back home, and my friendship group were really supportive, which was really good. I remember one of my buddies, I messaged him, I'm like, hey man, coming off selection, can you come pick me up from the airport? He's like, when he got there, and he's just like, do you want to talk? I'm like, not yet. It's like, cool, got you, which was really, really kind. But yeah, man, at that point I was at a decision point. I'm like, what do I do? I'd done my Rosso at that point. What was next? And I had to kind of go back to ground in terms of like why I enlisted, and really at a deep level understand what I thought was a deep level understand at that point, why I wanted to do this, why I was enlisting. And at that point, once I kind of licked my wounds, sort of reload, re-aim, refire, decided to go per Perth selection. I'm not really sure the reasons why. I think I just wanted to change, to be honest with you. And started to really kind of understand my motivation. Like, I want to leave a legacy. I want to make it more about me, and like, as a man, like, what am I trying to achieve here? I want to leave a legacy for my future kids, and I want to have a kinetic effect on the ground. And I like the ethos and the mentality of the unit, the people. I'd had so many experiences with the people from 2 Commando, in the small fucking window that I had, versus some of the people that I'd met from SASR. I'm just like, oh, actually, yeah, they just kind of seem like good, gentlemanly fucking professionals, and I really like that. And again, at that point, I went for Perth selection at 33, which was like, I remember we did the SVET, and I think the major at the time was like a lateral transfer for Brits. Grey hair, would have been, I don't know, the cunt could have been fucking 42 years old because he'd had 400 deployments and 1,700 confirmed kills. He looked about 60. But
just a corpse.
yeah, a corpse that could probably fucking stomp faster than everybody else in the room. But we finished the SVET, and I did well, man. Like again at 33 years old, I was fitter, faster, and stronger than I had been on previous selections. I fucking worked my ass off for that, and I was punching on in the top 5% of those dudes in Brisbane. I can quite confidently say that. So we gotten cleaned up, was going in there for the interview, and there were 3 of them there. And before my ass had even hit the chair, he just goes, 33, you're a bit old, aren't you? And I'm like, I guess so, sir. I think I did all right. He's like, oh yeah, looks like it. Good job. I'm like, oh, thanks. But decided to go for Perth selection and really just felt better about it. I don't know why. Just wanted to change,
Just briefly, in the interim between first and second selection, 2.5 years, that was just like exercises, specialist courses, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was. There was another sort of big blow in the first couple of weeks I was at the battalion because CO at the time, because we were preparing, we were getting ready to be ready. So we were the RBG, and then we were going into being the RBG. So the CO at the time was like, "No, I don't want anyone going for selection." He had a bit of a fucking bee in his bonnet about people going for selection. Well, anyway, so my sergeant told me at the time, he's like, "Mate, look, I know there's another selection running next year, but CO said no one's eligible to go until 2016, I think." So that kind of fucking shook me. Started, drinking, which for me, fucking drinking is like 2 drinks a night. It's not a drinking problem, but for me, that was out of character. And then, put on a lot of weight. I think I had a surgery. I think I got like a hernia or something in 2015. Did a recon course, failed the recon course. Exercises, that sort of piss. Just battalion life,
Yeah.
Didn't have a great. 2015 was a pretty shit year as well. Just a myriad of different things happened at work, personal life, just fucking life, right? And then 2016 came around, and then threw my app in and got accepted, and then had 2016 selection. I think it was like October 2016. Got buzzed, and then came back 2017. Did the Dog Cup for 6RR, which was really cool. So I really, really enjoyed that. Gave me a really good taste of just being in a tight knit team. Yeah, that was definitely, despite like we didn't do well in the competition, but despite that is one of the things that I can look back on and I'm most proud of and most enjoyed in my time in the military, because we had autonomy away from the battalion for 2 months. It was like literally just us, and we got a free pass to fucking just be us and train how we wanted to train with the sergeant who was in charge and do all that sort of stuff. We spent a month, 4 weeks down at Canungra doing stuff Monday to Friday there, which was great. Like it was a good time, and we got so tight. That team was fucking like, to the point where I knew how my oppo wanted his fucking brew in the morning. I knew that it'd take him 1 minute 37 seconds to fucking clean his gun, and it took me 2 minutes and 14 seconds to fucking make him a brew, and like just shit like that. I could tell from his rate of fire that he knew when he was going to have a stoppage on his belt, and I knew that I needed to fucking get prepared and load my magazine at that point. Like it was a flow state between all 8 of us, and it was great, man. I've never experienced anything like that before, which has been, it was kind of sad, but it was phenomenal when it was happening. So that was a lot of fun. And then, did the 2018 selection, lined up for that. And, was feeling really good about it. And then I got there and failed the 20 clicker because I mismanaged my, the weight, so we had to carry an ammo tin in there, which added weight. I had all my water in there as well. So I ended up being about 4 or 5 kilos overweight, which over 20 clicks. And then they did it at Bindoon down at that point as well. So the fucking course was sand and fucking uphill and downhill and all that sort of shit. Yeah, failed the 20 clicker, and that day was just I think it's called Lone Warrior, where they basically just send you around the different stands for like a day on your own. But it was like the training day before that. So I think it was like day 3. So we did the 20 clicker in the morning. And then it was just like, cool, you're going to go around in a group to all these different stands. You're going to
Happy Wanderer, sorry.
No, that's the nav phase.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Lone Warrior was the fucking bit where it's like you learn how to rig a parachute, how to fucking make fire with kangaroo shit, how to do the medic stuff, and how to use different bits of equipment, make a pulley system out of a fucking leaf, a paper clip, and a rope, and half a carabiner or some shit. And then, like I failed the 20 clicker, came back, we're doing that all day. And I was just I was done, man. Like mentally, I was fucking checked out, you know. And me and 2 of the guys from 6 who were on selection together, we made a pact, which was, if anyone's thinking about pulling out, put your hand up, talk to the group first, and we'll try and talk you out of it, give you some support. And then after that, whatever happens, we'll wish you well or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said this to my buddy. I said, man, I think I'm done. And he goes, hey, you know, tell me what's going on. I just told him, just not feeling it, man. You know, I had an experience when we were tying knots, and never liked knots. I was fucking no good. It just didn't work in my brain.
Roping,
you know?
yeah, I'm the same, man. Roping
Yeah.
for me was not enjoyable.
Yeah. Ha, zing. And we're tying a knot, and he's like, 77. What's the benefits of this knot? When would you use it? I'm like, well, sir, the benefits are this, this, and this, and you'd use it here and here. And he's just like, no, the benefits are this and this, and you'd use it here and here. Didn't any of you cunts do the pre-reading? And it was grey and overcast. I just failed the 20 clicker. It started to rain, and like time slowed down, like in the Matrix, you know, where they zoom in on the fist. It's like the raindrops are just slowly falling. And I like floated outside my body, and I was looking at myself in the rain, feeling like a failure yet again, tying these knots, getting fucking knife-handed by some dude, being told that I, again, wasn't good enough because I didn't know how to fucking put one bit of rope through another bit of rope. And I just remember saying to myself, I don't give a fuck about knots. Like, I don't care about knots. I don't care about how to rig up a parachute harness. I don't care how to make a pulley system or any of this sort of shit. I want to know the fucking angles I need to take when I kick a door in. I want to know what a breaching charge is like. I want to know, you know, fucking all the Gucci shit, all the cool shit that everyone signs up to do. And then I had this other voice in my head was like, cunt, this is the job. Like, this is a big part of this job. And if you're not okay with this, of the patience that's required to really dedicate yourself to learning this for 6 weeks at a time on a course, maybe this is not for you. And then I floated back inside my body, and it was like Doctor Strange, you know, when they fucking punches the soul out of the person, then the soul comes back in. It's like that. I couldn't unfeel that feeling, man. Like I was there. It was like, this is not for you. And
yeah,
if you're going to have to convince yourself to want to continue to do this job just because you don't like tying knots, you don't want to learn how to fucking survive in the bush, you can't be here. That you're a liability, you know. And that was the story I'd told myself. So later that night, I think they were about to eat dinner, and then it was like waking up in the morning to go and do the 12-hour stores carry or something. And I spoke to my mates and said, I think I'm done. They're like, do you want us to talk you out of it? I'm like, I want you to try. And they're like, well, look, you've had a bad day, and you knew you were going to have a bad day. You just had yours, 15 days earlier than you thought you would. So, deal with it. And then I'm like, yeah, man, but I told him my reasons, and he's like, yeah, is that a story or is that how you're actually feeling? I'm like, look at both, and the other guy who'd done selection the year before said, man, look, we're about to go do this stores carry. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if you want to go, you need to go now rather than during the stores carry, because we're all going to get lumped with your shit if you leave. And I'm like, that's fair. I don't want to fuck on the boys, So, and not that was a factor, but it was like, yeah, look, I think I'm done. So whilst everyone else went and got flogged with 7,000 push-ups, I sort of spoke to one of the DS. I'm like, hey, I think I'm pulling the plug. He's like, all right, come over here. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And he's like, looked me square in the eye. He's like, are you sure? Because once you pull that out and you sign it and I sign it, your journey is over. And I'm like, I'm done. He's like, all right, pull it out, signed it, whatever.
You're like, wait.
No, I signed it. And then as soon as that happened, he put it in his pocket. He's like, all right, man, shook my hand. Took his beret off, shook my hand. He's like, mate, I'm fucking Jono. What's your name? Where are you from? And then he sort of pulled me into the mess area. He's like, sit down, mate, tell me what's going on. Like, again, rehumanized instantly, which is their job. It's exactly what they got to do.
Yeah.
And I told him all about it. And he's just like, mate, yeah, that sucks, He goes, look, man, and I'll never forget this. And at the time, it was exactly what I needed. He goes, mate, selection is designed to show us who you are and to show you who you are. And win, lose, or draw, you've seen who you are, and that's okay. And what you've decided is that this isn't for you. And that's true and correct for you, So we've done our job and you've done your job. And there's no good or bad. We're not sitting here going, we fucking weeded another one out. It's emotionless for us. It's just like, yeah, cool. Like, no worries. We're not sitting there going, look at those other fucking, out of 130 people in selection, look at those fucking 100 cunts that couldn't make it, losers. Like, they're not doing that, So for about 48 hours, that made me feel really good. I was dating someone at the time. I called her up. I'm like, I feel really good about my decision. She's like, oh, wow, I didn't expect you to feel this good. I'm like, me neither. It was all the fucking endorphins about me taking the pressure off my fucking self that I'd had for literally the last 5 years of being in the army. I've got to be this person. And then, got out of there, went home, and then got checked out by the doctor. He's like, oh yeah, your spine's fucked. I'm like, cool, tracks. And he said to me, he goes, mate, look, I got a lot of friends in high places, but he goes, I couldn't sign off on this. I'm like, I'm done with SF. He's like, yeah, even if you wanted to reapply, he's like, I actually can't let you. Like, I can't allow this. This is grounds for a medical discharge. Like, all right, fair enough.
Shit, yeah.
So, 12 months later, I was out. In that time, I had what could only be described as a full ego death and a pretty, I wouldn't call it a mental breakdown, but it was a pretty substantial identity crisis. I was at home. Probably wouldn't have been too far after I got back, man. Probably like a week, maybe 2 weeks or something. And I sort of had the come down from, I feel really good to like, oh, actually now I feel pretty shit about this. And I was like trying to fold a t-shirt in my room and just the fucking creases wouldn't line up on one side. Kept ended up being lopsided or some shit.
Stupid fucking
Mate,
t-shirt.
it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I fucking threw this t-shirt across the room and I dropped to my knees and I fucking wept like ugly crying to just fucking like, I'm so glad nobody's here to see or hear this because it was just fucking all coming out. It was 5 years of accumulated stress of telling myself I needed to be someone. And at that point, 20 years, because I was 33 at the time, 20 years of having my identity wrapped up in effectively what was a job, right? And conflating the two together. And the thing that I said, and the only thing that I could muster in amongst the fucking all of that was, who am I now? Because I had no idea. When I was in the band, I was Daz. And then when I was enlisting, I was fucking, Daz is going for fucking special forces, enlisting. And everyone's like, you're going to fucking make it. You're a fucking hard cunt. Fucking all that. And then I was the annoying guy that was going for special forces. And then I was in the battalion. It's like, oh, wow, Daz is going for special forces again. Wow, fuck, good for him. And then the third time, you can count on one hand the amount of people that do that in Queensland or in fucking ever. So there was a level of pride in my ability to persist. But then I deliberately pulled the pin on not only my career, but that identity, saying, I don't want that anymore. So I've gone from Daz, the army guy going for SF, to I'm just Darren. I'm just Darren the soldier. Who the fuck is that? And the belief that I had was, he's not good enough. If he is not aspiring to or trying, and this is something that came up for me recently when I was on holidays, if Darren is not aspiring to something or trying to be someone or perform a certain role, he is not good enough. That was the fucking nucleus of that belief system that I had at the time. So I was still in the army, still had, hadn't even started the process of medical discharge yet. So didn't know how long I was going to be in there. Didn't want a core transfer, wasn't going to go for SF again. Was just a soldier, was my belief. But at the core of all that was not good enough. And that was not something that I had experienced really ever in my life. I'm sure somatically that feeling was there for me when I was a kid, when I was getting bullied, but it was not something that I had been able to articulate or put into words then. And particularly being in that military culture, you don't go to your mate and you go, mate, right now I'm not feeling good enough. Because the response is, you'll be right. So yeah, man, that was, who am I now? I don't know. But whoever you are, you're not good enough. That was the story. Yeah.
Has that ever ended for you? Like, have you since then ever just stopped? Not, this week, I'm not doing a section, not fucking doing drums, just, I'm just going to get up, eat food, watch a movie or whatever. Like, do you ever do that? And then, like, because I'll give you my opinion on that if you would like.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time we're like, oh, you're not your job, you're not the role you do. And I'm like, well, you kind of are. Like, most of the time, yeah. Most of your adult life and your fucking day and your week is spent at work. So you've either got an affinity toward that thing or you're not, or you don't. Sorry. So, in my opinion, I'm like, well, it's okay to be tied to the job. Like, I'm, to a degree, I'm still tied to when I've been out of commandos longer than I was in commandos. But it's still like, have a fucking look around. It's still like it's a part of my identity, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think yes, we sometimes we need to stop and be reminded that I am still good enough outside my job. At least you went through it. Sorry if I'm hijacking your story, by the way.
It's your podcast.
100%. Don't forget it. How do I turn off your microphone? I literally went through it on the weekend. Like last week, because I was starting to burn out, I just finished this fucking workshop that I've been working on for like 3 months, and I'm so fucking happy with it, and I'm so burnt out from doing it that I was like, I'm having a full week off last week. So I was like, no work, no nothing. I trained, and that's about it. And I was like, this week is my little strategy week, just realign myself and, do the next part for the next 3 months. And over the weekend, I just had this massive fucking crash. Like, I like, depression was my thing back in the day, but it's not been for a long fucking time. And I had like the first depressive episode I've had in a long time because I fucking stopped, and I just had this like anxiety all week where I was like, no, you got to go and do the fucking workshop thing. You got to start sending it to people. You got to fucking go out and do this. You got to do that. You got to do that. And every time I tried to, something would pop up, and it was the kids, it was a family, and I just had this mad depressive, like, oh, fuck, I'm not good enough, et cetera, et cetera. And it was fucking horrible. Luckily, I was like, yeah, I've been here before. I know what this feels like. I can get through it.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me, I was like, oh, okay, I guess until I'm like a fucking 60-year-old or whatever, and I don't give a fuck anymore, I'm going to be tied to the jobs that I do in the impact that I am trying to make. And I'm kind of like, that's fine. That's all good.
That's the thing that I've had the kind of revelation with recently. So I'll answer the question.
I had it first.
To answer the question is in two parts. Do I ever still feel like that? Yes, absolutely. And it's only been recently that I've, like this last 2 weeks, like I've just, my ex and I separated end of last year. I've only recently just sort of moved into my new place, got a new routine, new pattern of life. And this last 2 weeks, I'm actually just starting to feel like, hey, let's actually just exist. Just you and your dog, getting a new routine, just living life like a normal person, not somebody that's trying to be this change maker and leave impact and all that sort of stuff, And a lot of the time I would get caught up in being someone or something as opposed to just being. So just existing is like, okay, just to, just breathe in space and that's okay. The revelation that I kind of had, and I had this when I was on a trip to New York recently, was understanding that for so long I felt like I needed to be the person I needed to be the one to help fix people's problems. And that showed up for me as a kid, with my mother and my relationship there. It showed up for me infinitely in the relationships I've had with women, where I needed to be the savior. I needed to be the one to change how they operated, and be the ones like, oh my God, he's so good. He showed me this and he helped me here. And, I had one relationship where I just stayed way longer than I should have because it was like, oh, well, this is just how I help someone. I'm just there. I confused endurance for loyalty. I was a professional shit taker. I can just take it all. I'm resilient. I'm the guy that went through selection 3 times. It doesn't matter what you give me. I can fucking take it. Right? Not helpful in a relationship. And then there was another relationship where I stayed because I tried to lead by example. Like I'm this guy. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to hope that you're going to follow my lead, and I'm going to try and lead you into these experiences. And that didn't work either. So I had this perpetual need to help and save. But then, like you were saying, inadvertently, we are tied to our job. I sort of took that as a job, but then I started to realize, well, I can still show up and be good enough just by existing. But also, me wanting to help people is who I am. And not only am I really fucking good at it, but I actually enjoy it. The tricky thing for me was discerning when to do it and in what capacity. So rather than kicking the door in on someone's life and trying to have this raging savior complex, which was nothing about them and everything about me, because I wanted them to perceive me in a particular way, it was okay for me to just be there. And this was the epiphany that I had in New York, just, understanding, like, if I was just to show up. And again, I use this in the context of relationships because this is where the epiphany kind of dropped, and then I saw how it translated in every other relationship or every other aspect of my life. If I was just to show up and exist in space in a relationship with a woman, just me, nothing but the clothes on my back, do I feel like I was good enough? And the answer was no. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's like the nucleus. That's the core of that belief, is like, at a core level, just as I am, do I think I'm good enough? No, I don't. I feel I need to fulfill a particular role in someone's life to be seen and perceived and valued as good enough. And once I kind of realize that, it's like the trail of ants. You see one, you see two, and then all of a sudden the whole trail just kind of comes to light, and you're like, oh, fuck, this is everywhere. And really seeing that and being like, wow, I fucking do this everywhere. This is me. Like, I'm almost trying to insert myself into people's lives and like overcompensate and try really hard to save them and help them and do all this sort of stuff. And I get it. What I do with Section is exactly that, right? People actually come to me and come to us to have that happen. But to have this belief of like, oh, unless I'm, ordering a coffee and I'm just like, hey, how you doing? You having a good day? Oh yeah, it's okay. Oh, what's wrong? You want me to hold some space for you? Just tell me what's going on. It's like, this is about father. Yeah. Father. Like, no, fucking just order your coffee. Shut the fuck up. Again, it's not to that degree, but it's like that's almost what I was trying to do. Everywhere I went, I was seeing things and I was interacting with the world through a lens of how can I show them that I'm good by helping them, so that I can get value from what they think about me. And it was just fucking exhausting.
Mm.
So yeah, in a roundabout way, has that "you're not good enough" ever gone away? I think there's been times where I haven't thought about it, for sure. Like if you've got a sore knee and then all of a sudden you're doing something different, you don't focus on it, the injury hasn't gone away. Your attention is somewhere else. So I don't think it's gone away until I've actually really shone a light on the core of the problem. And now I'm starting to see it. And now I actually get to create a new neural pathway and energetically shift exactly what I'm doing. And I'm conscious of the behaviors and the mentality and the attitude. But there is still a part of me, and I don't know whether this is a masculine thing, whether this is an army thing, whether this is just a personality thing for me, but there is still a part of me that feels I need evidence to be shown that I'm good enough. And this is particularly, with the business as well. I don't know what it was like for you when you were running Origin, but for Section, it's like, unless I get X amount of people on the course, it's not good enough. Unless I sell X amount, or unless I get this result from this person, or unless I convert this many people into coaching program, oh yeah, but you got 2 people and you got X amount of sales. Yeah, but I wanted 3. So I just diminish the work done. And that's a really fucking unhealthy pattern as well. And I'm always conflicted in this, because it's kind of like, yeah, you set the goal and you achieve it. Do you nullify what you have achieved even if it's not the goal? No. But is that in turn just kind of giving yourself a participation medal? Again, like I said at the start, the culture is like, got to be this and it's got to be grind, and it's like, never surrender, never quit until you achieve your goals. It's like, a lot of the time there's just so many conflicting ideals that I just want to just be like, I'm done with all of this for a little bit, and I think that's kind of where I'm at right now for the next kind of week or two, is just being like, let's not do anything for the business. Let's just play with your fucking dog. Let's go food shopping, maybe go see a movie, hang out with some friends, and just exist, and just allow myself to process whatever's there and come up with, do exactly what I do for other people. But instead of putting myself in the pressure cooker to allow what comes up, my pressure cooker is sitting down and doing nothing.
Yeah.
So sitting down and doing nothing is where the fucking, and you would probably, resonate with this. You work out, you go for a long run, you do something like that, the noise kind of quietens a little bit, right? For me, it's listening to metal, and I've done experiments on this. If I go running silently or I run with metal, my heart rate drops when I'm listening to fucking heavy music. That's just how I've grown up, right? But for me, that fucking hard thing is actually just sitting down and existing and letting the noise get to fucking fever pitch, and then, holding myself through that. And then eventually it starts to kind of simmer down, and then the real truth of the matter kind of comes out. And that's what I can actually deal with. And that's exactly what happened to me when I went to New York. I had a lot of personal stuff go on before that. We ran the US event in November before, and there was a lot of this going on for that kind of 3 months. And then I went to New York knowing that I was going to be in a different physical environment, and that was going to have me be in a place where, hey, whatever's going to come up is going to come up. Fucking sure as shit. Didn't disappoint, but allowing that to be there is, that's been a journey in and of itself. Again, being in a culture like Army, when it's like, just fucking shut the fuck up and crack on, not to remind you, but I said this on another podcast before as well. we have become, and I say we, not only as soldiers, but as men, we have become so good at masking whatever is going on with us, good or bad, that when something really bad is actually happening, we just revert back to that pattern of shut the fuck up, crack on. That was evident again with my physical injuries. I've got a bit of a tweak in my neck. You've got a serious spinal condition. I need that. Oh yeah, I've been feeling a little bit like this when this thing comes up. It's like, oh no, you've actually had like some pretty serious bouts of depression for a long time. So letting that stuff just kind of be there and pushing against that pattern of that's fine, crack on. Because on the other side of that hard thing, letting the stuff come up and then simmer down again, that's where the real kind of work happens. That's where the real growth happens. And you can't get to that. You can't identify the problems if you don't allow the problems to surface. Yeah, then it's just a Band-Aid solution over a wound that's going to keep opening up. So being in that space of just letting it fucking be there, letting it happen is, it's definitely some of the hardest work that I've ever done.
Yeah, it's like that Perth guy said to you. He's like, hey man, you just found out something about yourself that you didn't know. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think you got to know that it's painful. You can run from it, but maybe just stop for a second, feel it. Oh fuck, okay. I'll just keep running for a bit. I'll stop again, but not right now.
Yeah. And look, I get there's times where you need to like compartmentalize, but at the end of the day, it's just something that I started to see. I think it was around 2017 as well. I really started to sort of see my own patterns of behavior in relationships, and my own patterns of addiction as well. And that the therapist that I was talking to was like, hey, your pain is worthy. Really starting to notice that. Like, yeah, you can keep running if you want to, or you can actually just stand here and just fucking like deal with it. And I think tying back into that sort of mentality that I'd fostered through going through selection, it was like you can do the hard thing, just stand there and fucking do it and get it over with. Because on the other side of that is exactly what you want. But that culture of, dealing with your mental shit, like, well, don't talk about that. Yeah, do the hard shit physically, no worries. But mentally, it's like, that's where the work is, man. Yeah. So
it kind of reminds me of like physical training. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate using that analogy, like, oh, you can't see mental health. But you can be physically strong, etc. At a certain thing, and then you go and do a session where you're exposed to something you've never done before, and you are horrendously weak, and you feel like a fucking spastic.
Yeah,
I find the mental stuff's the same, man. It's the shock of going, oh fuck, I haven't done the work, and I don't even know what the work is, and I don't even know what's wrong with me, and I don't even know how to fucking solve it, and I don't know the start point of any of this shit, but I fucking do not like it. So like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing. It just shows you it's like a weak muscle. It's just like, hey, you just got to do some training, man. It's all good. No stress.
And mate, like with a physical injury, I do the same things. Like, yeah, I got this fucking thing with my shoulder. Yeah, don't worry about it. Fucking pull up, shoulder press, chest press. It's like, yeah, you can stop and you can actually sort it out, spend some time. Wouldn't take any more than 4 to 6 weeks to fucking get a better result out of it. Or you can just fucking crack on doing the same thing. Eventually, that's going to get worse and worse and worse to the point where, now I'm out for fucking 3 months.
Yeah. It's like toughness and strength for me, right? Typically, we're guys that have a lot of toughness. You've got a high threshold for pain. 3 selection courses, military career, etc. Stuff with section, business, relationships, whatever. But because you've got that high tolerance, you've got a fair bit of toughness. But the toughness runs out after a while. And, like I feel so cliche given the physical, like it's like physical training.
No, but it's true. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, like if you could out tough your shoulder injury for a while.
Yeah.
But then after a while, the toughness, it's not, you're not lifting the weight anymore.
Yeah.
You just stop, you're going to rehabilitate the fucking thing, and you're going to build some strength.
Yeah.
You can wait and build a little bit of toughness, but the deficit, the injury is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, anyway.
Yeah.
It's a bit fucking cliche.
No, but mate, that's true. Like it translates to everything.
It's true, but
this is what I was saying beforehand with, you know, the relationship patterns that I had. It's like I was a professional shit taker. It's like I was confusing loyalty with endurance with loyalty. You know, I'm just gonna stay. I'm just gonna continue to fucking press and whatever. And eventually it's like the whole thing fucking breaks down. You know? So yeah, that's I guess what you were saying about toughness or grit, whatever it is, you know, like if you take a step back, and this is why people come and do the work that we do with section, or the men's work, you know, that I do as well, the group that does that, they've gotten to a point where the shoulder's not fucking working anymore. You know, I don't know what's going on, but something's not right, or I know what's going on, I just don't know how to fix it. So I need to come to you and actually fucking solve this problem. Get deep in there to actually see what it is. And that's only going to be found out under pressure testing, you know, because, yeah, sure, everybody looks good when they're pushing nothing but the fucking bar or a broomstick, right? Add 10, 20, 30 kilos on there, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, that's the problem right there, you know? So it needs to be pressure tested a lot of the time. But too many people pressure test too much and they just ignore what's actually going on.
Yeah. Or they don't mean to, and they're just like, oh, fuck. Oh,
yeah.
The fuck was that?
Yeah. Or that's been their pattern. It's like, fucking ignore. You know, ignore that, crack on kind of thing.
So, mate, get on to, obviously, with end of your military career, you've med discharged because of your neck and your back.
Neck and back, yeah.
Yep. And then getting out, did you have a break, or did you go straight into section? Did you think about going to cops, fire Zambos, contracting, all the normal shit that we go through when we leave that job?
No, so I was told I wouldn't be able to get a first responder job. Just because of the neck and the back medical discharge. And I wasn't really interested in doing it anyway. So I did have a break. I didn't start section. I wanted to start section in 2020. I got out in 2019. I wanted to start 2020. Then the vid. So I started in 2021. But yeah, 2019 just chilled. You know, just kind of existed outside of army. Worked out who I was. 2020 started back at uni and then did a 2-year degree. It was like entertainment business management, which was kind of cool. Attempted to work in that industry and realized I didn't want to. I'd much rather be on stage than fucking side stage. And then, 2020 we started doing, 2021 started doing section, just started out with small gym events. 20, 30 people, local gyms, and that sort of stuff. And yeah, just obviously it's transformed into a very different beast now, but back then it was, it was good, man. It was good being able to give back and help other people in a way that I wished I was helped. And that's still to this day, the fucking core and the underlying premise of why I do it and why we do it is to be able to give people the experiences that we wish we had and we never had in order to help them. And we're trying to fast track their results. And one of the participants said to me one time, he's like, we're giving them the lessons without the trauma. Yeah, a little bit of trauma, but not the full amount that we went through. You know, I don't want somebody to go through 6 years of a military career just to have an identity crisis and then work out that they're good enough when we can kind of put them on a 14-hour course, have a dog bark at them, spray them in the face with a hose and get them to do some push-ups until they realize they hate their dad and then have a breakthrough. Which is an oversimplified version, but also kind of on it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me guess, daddy issues.
Yeah, daddy.
So typical.
Yeah, tracks. Yeah, with that haircut, of course.
It still hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But, yeah, and the gym events were just a shorter version of that, 2-3 hour session kind of thing, and the gap in the market, I suppose from a business perspective was what I saw was, the boot camp thing had been done, but nobody had really done it with the energy of what I saw on selection. Yeah, and look, I'd been a PT, I'd been a personal trainer at that point, but I kept up on and off my kind of skill set doing that while I was in the military. So at that point, I'd been a PT for nearly 10 years. But then translating what I saw on selection and the experiences that I had with what I already knew about personal training and what I'd started to really discover about personal development, growth and all that sort of stuff, and just kind of smashing it all together, and then giving back what I never received, which was that kind of debrief after selection. You know, I had the mandatory psych debrief of just like, are you going to kill yourself? No. Are you sure? Okay. How do you feel? Pretty shit. Cool. RTU. Back to unit. Like, no worries. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But actually having somebody go, hey man, how you doing? You all right? Oh, not. I'm pretty shit. Okay, what's going on? And actually just sort of talking through that. Yeah, well, cool. Like, what's there? What's come up for you? You know, and I didn't have those skills to be able to talk to somebody. Nobody that I knew at that time had the skills to be able to ask those questions. So creating that was what was really important to me. And at the end of those events, what we would do is have like a little sharing circle, being like, hey, when we continually move the goalposts, or we told you this, or we said you weren't good enough, or whatever, what came up for you? Oh, I felt like I was letting the team down. I felt like people were judging me because I couldn't do this or I was doing too much of that. It's like, all right, did anyone else experience that person like that? No, actually, we thought they were really great for morale. Actually, no, it was really good because I was feeling like that as well. So that gives me permission to have those feelings, like allow them to be there. So really, really kind of lifting the veil on this experience of, hey, we just told you for 2 hours everything you did was shit and it wasn't good enough. Now let's lift up the hood. What's actually going on? I didn't feel good enough. This thing came up from my childhood, or hey, actually, I feel like I'm constantly doing this. I crack the shits at everyone because I didn't feel like they were pulling their weight. And then for whatever reason, when I was doing my 38th push-up, I realized that I actually do the same thing with my kids. You know, and there's a level of compression and pressure, and particularly in a somatic sense and a physical sense, that people need to experience for that stuff to come up, to bubble up to the surface. And then all of a sudden they're just doing push-ups and they're like, this is fucking bullshit. It's like, oh, wow, fuck, I actually have this same mentality at home. I do this to my husband or my wife or my kids or at work or whatever it is, you know? So I wanted to give people that experience because that's the stuff that happened for me. You know, I didn't realize that I had this underlying I'm not good enough until I failed my third selection. I couldn't fucking fold a t-shirt and I ugly cried for an hour.
I bet the throwing the t-shirt was very undignified as well.
Yeah.
They're not particularly aerodynamic.
No, I was like, I put everything into that fucking throw and it just went like,
It just like expanded and just like fell onto the bed. Yeah,
it probably fell onto the bed perfectly.
like throwing a tissue.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to give people that experience again because that's the stuff that helped me the most after the fact. So I had to go through the failures. I had to go through the fucking ups and downs of my military career. And if you're still watching, thanks for still being here. But I had to go through all of that to get to the point of going, how can I actually help people get the outcome without all of that? What are the things that I can do to kind of trigger this stuff as quickly as possible? Even if it's just the tip of the iceberg, to have them conscious going, oh, actually, yeah, I don't feel good enough. Oh, wow, actually, my self-talk is really shitty. Oh, wow, actually, yeah, I replicate this exact same patterns with my kid. Oh, actually, I was ashamed that I had to get 2 people to CAS drag me instead of 1 because I put on a bit of weight. Fuck. Yeah, wow, okay, I need to do something about this. Yeah, that was the stuff I wanted to give back to people. And the vehicle that we did it in, or we do it in, was that selection-inspired way, basically.
Yeah, and it sounds like the way you're describing it, which is the way that I see it anyway, is you're not saying, hey, come here, we're going to teach you how to be an SF dude.
No.
Come here, let's talk about the pressure that course is going to put on you, regardless of whether you get to an SF unit or not.
Yeah, man. And look, which
is a big distinction to make, right? And
yeah,
we're going to get to the criticism in a minute because I want to hear your opinion on it because I think you've had an interesting like take, for lack of a better term, on that because we've spoken about it in the past. Yeah,
man. Now, look, I have been forthright in my experience, and the trolls will call it failures, and they are. You know, I failed selection 3 times. It's like, I'm constantly reminded of that scene from the end of 8 Mile. Have you seen 8 Mile with Eminem? Where he basically just like, he goes first in the final rap battle and he says all the bad shit about himself that he thinks the other dude is going to say. And then the other dude's like, oh, and he says nothing. Like, I've been upfront from day one about the fact that I failed selection 3 times. I've been upfront about the things that I've learned and the ethos and the methodology and why I want to do this. I've been upfront about this is the experience that I got from selection and I want to replicate that. Did I pass a selection? No. Did I understand the inner workings at a deep level? No. But I'm taking a myriad of all these experiences and I'm creating my own tapestry and my own product to help people. And I think this is the thing that is constantly missed from the criticism or the trolls is there's this perception because of the letters S and F, based on SF selection, based on military special forces, based on, I've never said 2 Commando SASR, I've just said Australian Special Forces selection courses, right? At the end of the day, though, people are going to see what they want to see, right? And I've had people reach out privately. I've had people leave Facebook comments and people who are in positions from the unit that you've been from, right? From other units from military all across the world, literally, right? From both here and the US where we run it. And high up people in your old unit as well would drop in Facebook comments telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about because I never passed. I shouldn't be speaking about this. I shouldn't mention. I've heard whispers from people that I know that I've personally had dealings with also from those units who say one thing to my face and then come back behind closed doors speaking to other people saying shit. He shouldn't be doing this. He doesn't know anything about it, this, that, and the other. And the comment that I replied to from a high-ranking person, in one of those units when he was like, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be talking about things you know nothing about. By the way, just in case you're wondering, I've got experience here. I was insert title at this unit and I did this for this long. My feedback was, thanks for the feedback. Really appreciate that. Looks like we've got a bunch of mutual friends. Half of those mutual friends have actually helped me out on my course. So you're welcome to have a chat to them about what it is we do rather than just creating a judgment from a 30-second ad. Also, I'm not teaching people how to be SF soldiers. I'm not training them to enlist in the military. I'm not saying I'm going to prepare them for the rigors of selection. I'm helping them. I'm helping them uncover whatever it is that is going on in their life to remove those roadblocks and actually get them moving in the direction that they want to move in. The vehicle that we use is based on my experiences and the experiences of all my crew. And I don't need a green or a sandy beret to do that. Needless to say, there was no return comment. Fair enough. But I am adamant in the fact now, not for the first few years when I was riddled with imposter syndrome, that the experiences that I've had, good, bad, or otherwise, have shaped my ability to be able to genuinely change people's lives. And I will fucking die on that hill. I would have loved to have worn a different color beret. I would have loved it. And there will always be a part of me that wanted to do that job. Always. But what I do now is so far beyond SF selection style boot camp that it really, like out of a 24-hour course, we have probably about 20 different activities, 20 stands, right? Maybe 5 of them are based on a selection experience. Maybe. Half of those are deeply entrenched personal development techniques that I've learned from the 3-day men's retreats, from the psychodrama, somatic experiences, from the fucking breathwork journeys, from the medicine journey, all that sort of shit is all kind of, we don't do medicine journeys on the course. Obviously that'd be fucking irresponsible. But all of those lessons, all those experiences are put in there. The similarities to a selection course, we do a kit check. I did 84 of those when I was at Singleton in infantry school. But people are going to get triggered based on their own level of understanding and whatever's going on for them. And that's fine. Like, good on them. But I'm not here to teach people how to be a fucking mad dog on selection, right? We had a guy in our very first course who came and did it and then was enlisting direct entry clearance diver and since has passed clearance diver selection. Now, I think that was like a 2-year journey for him. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, he passed clearance diver selection because of our course, because he did another course from a similar company based over in Perth and he fucking crushed it. Did we help him pass selection? Maybe. Did he learn something from it about himself that may have helped him? Absolutely. And I know that because that's what he told me. So, you know, I can go off on the nearly 100 people that have done our course both over here and in the US as well that have said, this has changed my life in one way or another. And it has nothing to do with the military aspect of it.
Yeah. And you're a pretty intelligent dude, right? Have you ever looked at...
Appreciate that. I needed that today.
For the purposes of this question, have you ever looked at any of your stuff and gone, not necessarily the criticism is valid, but like, hey, I should change this or I'll change that?
No.
Okay.
And I can quite confidently say that. And I think the unhealthy level of imposter syndrome that I had for probably the first 3 years of running the business through gym events and then the first maybe year or two of running Assault, which is our 14-hour course in Australia, had me so hyper vigilant to how is this going to be perceived if I had a 2 commando operator and SSR operator look at this and go, shouldn't be doing that, or you shouldn't be saying that. So I think that level of hypervigilance has made me, and it's forced me to go, you need to create something that is based on your own experiences, and your own experiences are not passing selection and being an operator and doing deployments, right? So that's really shaped how we run the program. And I had this really funny experience with the guys in the US last year because they play it fucking fast and loose over there, particularly in Texas. They're like, hey, maybe we could do this experience where we're like, it's a leadership exercise where we get them in a small pocket. We've got a radio and we're teaching them to like go to a particular grid reference and near that grid reference as a target. And we're doing like 600-meter long range shot and they've got to walk us on, or they've got to like command the shoot and this, that, and the other. And it's like a leadership exercise. And I'm like, is it though? Or do you
just want to shoot some
shit? Or do you
shit?
just want to fucking shoot some shit at 600 meters with somebody that's within 25 meters of that so they can get a bit of a thrill? Like, who's this for? And he's like, it's for me. and you know the guy that said this as well. I'll tell you who it is afterwards.
Okay.
You'll be like, oh yeah, that tracks. So the thing that we keep front of mind, and I make the crew aware of this because every time we run the event, there's a, hey, next time, why don't we do this? You know, we do an extensive AAR afterwards, right? It's like, hey, next time, maybe we tweak this or we do this. And the first thing I always say is, okay, how is this going to enhance their experience? Not just of, oh, it was a really cool Army thing, but, oh, wow, I actually learned a lot from that and it showed me a part of myself. Because if all it is them going, oh yeah, then this happened and that was really cool, sweet. But if they can say, well, in that experience, I actually saw this part of myself that I didn't know was there, or I knew that it was there, but it really turned it up and it enhanced it. And now I'm aware of it and I need to change it. Then we'll put it in. But if it's just us wanting to fucking play Army, like, just grab the fucking gel blasters and let's go around the property and fucking shoot some shit, you know? So always front of mind is the participant experience and how it's going to help them grow. Because they're not coming to us for a selection experience, right? They're coming to us to learn more about themselves, they're either problem aware and solution unaware, or they're problem and solution unaware. So either go, I know this isn't working, I just don't know how to solve it, or something's not working, I don't know what it is, and therefore I can't solve it. That's why they're coming to us.
Yeah.
And again, the vehicle we're using just happens to be the military experience. And because that's front facing, right, that's the stuff that we always get the criticism on. And like, fucking cool, man, whatever.
Yeah. Now the reason I ask is because I've only been really criticised for my business stuff maybe couple of times.
Must be nice.
From operators about operator stuff, right? And there's a reason I don't, I'm not telling a heap of like war stories, and I actually avoid that kind of stuff on purpose. But for me, I'm always like, man, what did I like? Can I self-correct before? Legitimately, not like imposter syndrome. Can I self-reflect and correct before maybe I do say or do something that's outside my normal scope? Because for me, I'm not projecting, by the way.
No, you're good.
But I'm always looking at myself and I'm like, this is my actual baseline experience. Have I then, over the years, out of the military, in business, inflated or changed or enhanced or whatever my experiences and my stories. And for me, I'm like, I don't think so. I definitely have had some perspective changes for sure. But I don't know. And I think that's why I ask, because I'm always looking at my own stuff like, man, could I legitimately be criticized here? And I'm a couple of times I'm like, man, yeah, probably. I might cut that out. Or I might, do whatever. Yeah. But I think that just comes down to, man, like you said, you're like, man, I've looked at my stuff. I really think it's in line with my actual experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And look, man, people are going to fucking criticize you if they want to anyway. They're going to do it regardless.
Yeah. And when I say criticism a couple of times, I mean to my face.
Yeah, mate, same.
Like I'm sure there's plenty of guys who were like, I fucking hate that guy. He was only in the unit for 5 years. He fucking one deployment. I fucking hate that guy. Whatever. I'm like, meh.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't know. I have no concept of how somebody might criticize you for fucking selling cool dog collars. Like, look at this fucking guy. Thinks he's all that. Look at how good he thinks his collars are. Like,
I did once, but I kind of snapped back at the dude and I was like, don't. I'm not sure who you think you're talking to, man. Like,
I'm not the guy.
whatever you just said, that's not like. Have a look at my thing. That's not. Yeah, that's not me. This is my experience, and don't ever fucking say that to me again,
mate. People are gonna find. The people who are being the fucking trolls in the comment section and not the people who are interested in what we're doing. And at no point, even if I engage, I've had one singular person who's ever actually retracted their comment and apologized. And I try not to engage. And it was an American guy. He made a comment about something. It was like, a couple of sentences, but he did it from his public business osteopath profile. So I sent him a voice message. I'm like, hey man, not sure what you meant by that comment, but it seems like you're pretty upset and you kind of ripped into me a little bit. I'm just curious as to what you were meaning by that, because it seems pretty untoward or something to that effect. Basically tried to murder him with kindness. And he sent me a message back like, yeah man, you know what, on reflecting on that was pretty out of line. And he was a veteran himself. It's the fucking worst, right? He was like ex-Marine or something. And he's like, yep, on reflecting on that. Yeah, that was...
Marine. No such thing as an ex-Marine, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Always faithful, semper fidelis. Once a Marine, always Marine.
Oh, all right. War dog, stand down. Just fucking check anything holster.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Police that mustache. But yeah, it was, reflecting on that. Yeah, it was probably out of line. Sorry, didn't mean to fucking tear you down. I can't find that comment on the ad anymore. So if you find it, can you please delete it? I'm like, cool, man. No worries. Appreciate the integrity. All the best. And that was that, right? Rare as hen's teeth. Everybody else, I've had people direct message me, just be like, you're a stupid fucking loser for what you do. And it's like,
hey.
And the dude, like, you go to his Facebook profile and it's like some fucking neck-bearded 300-pound fucking troll who literally says cashier at Walmart. I'm like, all right, meme lord 69, sorry that I offended you. Fuck.
Yeah, some loser that paints Warhammer in his shed.
Pretends to play drums. Yeah. No, but like, people are going to find a way to criticize you, me, right? And again, I'm not sitting here being a fucking victim. I'm also not trying to do the whole, like, I'm just so above this now. They can say whatever I like, whatever they like. It just doesn't affect me, because it does, man. Like, I've had to put some pretty serious boundaries in place, because when I am running a marketing campaign, first thing I do in the morning is I check my watch, my sleep report, and then it's like, oh, you've got a new comment on your post. Yeah.
Heart rate spike.
Bro, legit, I'm getting a fucking adrenal dump, first thing in the morning. I literally my feet haven't touched the ground yet, so I've had to put that sort of stuff in place, because people are going to find a way. If they want to, they will. And that's just the sad state of affairs. But those are not the people who are prepared to reflect on their own behavior. And that's okay. Like, I'm not here to fucking save everyone. And I had this as well it was with it would have been like 2 years ago. There was a veteran guy who I was messaging back and forth, and he just wasn't right. They're still going?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm always just checking the time and shit.
Oh, cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'll land the plane. He just wasn't right for the course, right? And then what he did was, and I said this, I said, look, man, honestly, I think you need some professional help. Like, I don't think what we do is going to be right for you. I think you need more than what we can offer. And he went full victim mode, and he started going on all the different Facebook and Instagram posts and on all the ads and really just getting shitty and slandering us, right? And I felt real bad about it because there was a part of me that really wanted to help, wanted to save this guy, and the partner I was with at the time was like, like your job's not to save everyone. Your job's not to walk out into the street and be like, hey, what's your problem? Come and do my course. I can solve it. And I've said this from the start, what we do is not for everyone, and nor should it be. It's for the people who are prepared to have the mirror held up and actually see what they're doing and actually dig into it. And again, the vehicle that we use is neither here nor there, right? But it's the thing that we know works for what we're going for. So if people want to tear you down for something, they'll find a way. They really will. Cool. Like, let them do it,
Yeah.
Because it's not about me. It's not about us. They're not going to leave a comment and get so fucking worked up about it and then go to work, or they go home to their missus or their partner and be like, have you fucking seen this? Look at this fuckwit on Instagram. Like, he's from Australia. What a fucking, like, they're writing their comment, they're eating their Cheetos, and they're fucking off to whatever else they've got on their day. So if they want to find a way to tear you down, like, it's never about me or what I'm doing. That's just the thing that's fucking triggering. The irony in all of this is that those are the people who most often would benefit most from doing what we do. It's actually having the mirror held up. Like, hey, why do you see the need to actually just completely like tear a complete stranger down on the internet? Like, what's going on for you? What are the behavioral patterns? What's happened in your life that has created this value system that makes you think that not only is that okay, but it's actually a good thing for you to do? But their level of understanding of that sort of stuff is not present. So trying to speak to them in that way, and I've tried to converse with some of these people in the comment section, and they're purely there just for distance and irritation. Like, that is it.
Yeah. Like I always say about the Facebook comments, it's either for outrage or confirmation bias.
Yep.
That's it. No one's going there to be educated.
No, and no matter what I say in terms of, hey man, it looks like you're pretty upset about this, just to confirm, just to correct what you've said, actually we do this. 0 times out of 10 million have I ever had, oh, wow, okay, thanks for that. I really appreciate you helping me out. Actually, what do you do? Maybe I can inquire about one of your courses. 0 times. Yeah. Precisely 0. Yeah. So, yeah, good on them. It's part of the job. You put your head above the parapet, people are going to try to shoot it off. This is business, right? And more importantly than this is business, this is helping people. This is what this is. Trying to help other people invites criticism. I still haven't quite tackled and understood why, but I just know that to be true.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting, man. And you said before, you were like, it does affect me. It kind of fucks me off sometimes when people are like, got this Facebook comment over the weekend. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Just keep living life, whatever. And I'm like,
so why'd you bring it up?
Don't ever bring it up again. Yeah. Stop talking about it right now. Because I actually don't care because it didn't happen to me. But, if it didn't bother you, then why are you speaking about it?
What's the big deal?
Yeah. So, I think it's like, I'm a pretty resilient, tough kind of guy, right? Physically, mentally, etc. I've done a lot in my life and my career. And I've literally I learned that same thing the hard way. Yeah. Some random chick from the US was like super spitefully like attacking my business in the comments. And I had this like back and forth. And for like 2 or 3 days, I'd never heard of this chick ever. Never, like random chick in the US comments on one of my products. And I couldn't, for like 2 or 3 days, I could not let it go.
You checking your phone
Mate,
just to see if she replied?
100%. I was writing back in the comments and I was like, I got to convince her to have, rethink about it or whatever. Then it was like, nope, I'm going to fucking punish her. And I mean, fucking humans, bro. You know what I mean? You get criticized and it's, it's like saying, yeah, you're right, your baby's ugly. And I'm like, well, it's my baby.
Here's the thing that I have actually come to really understand about myself. It's like the criticism that hurts the most is the one that has me really like try and reflect. So if they're like the comments like this is gay or how corny or just enlist, it's like if somebody called me fat. I'm just like, well, categorically I know that's untrue. So
and it's in passing, they're not.
So it's like, yeah, like whatever, man, sure thing. But if they're like, oh, this is bullshit, this doesn't actually help anyone, all you're doing is wasting people's time and money, I'm like, ooh. Okay. Like I'm like 99.9%. I'm like, that's not true. I'm not doing that. But then it's like, am I? And the good thing about that is it actually gives me pause to reflect on the change that I have made in people's lives, and look at where I have come as a business owner from being scared to charge anything to what I'm doing now, which is a world-class professional coaching program, as well as a actual experience and an event in another country too. So it's like,
and I think that's the litmus test, mate. A is people signing up and they do it and they get something out of it and tell you about it.
Yeah.
And B, like international paid for gigs. That's an endorsement of your stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And in that process, you're always looking at reflecting. Like you said, you're like posting an ad out there. I'm like, oh, did I do something fucking stupid? Maybe I'll change this, whatever it is that you do.
That's it. This whole it does nothing. It's just a scam. It's like, okay, well, like, am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? Am I getting change from people? Is what I've set out to do actually having the desired effect? And again, then it comes back to, okay, well, what are you trying to do? And the statement for the business, the purpose statement is I'm trying to build resilience through adversity. I'm giving back to people what I never received, which is help and growth. That is what I'm trying to do. Am I doing that? Yes. Categorically, yes. So when I get those comments, it does, the distance between stimulus and response is now immediately shorter. So it's like, they say something, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to just check in. No, you know what? I'm actually pretty good at that. Yeah, it still sucks. And it sucks because I've started to have a small level of compassion for those people. It's like, wow, like what's going on with you that you want to spit that level of vitriol to someone that you've literally just read 2 lines of copy and seen 12 seconds of a video, and you've been so fucking enraged that you want to make a direct personal attack to a stranger from the internet from another country. Like, what's going on in your life? But then the other part of me is like, fuck him, I don't care.
Yeah. At some point, you're like, I got like 50% compassion, 50% fuck you, sort of shit out. Don't
thanks,
fucking come around here with your comments. Can't punch you in the fucking throat.
In the words of the great Heston Russell, delete, block, move on.
Yeah.
That's the official policy on comments. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like learning that lesson myself the hard way because I was the same. I was like, wow.
What did I do?
Why did you hate me?
Yeah, like checking what you wrote that might have triggered them. You're like,
man, it was so full on. I couldn't believe it. It fucking rocked me. Yeah. And I'm not ashamed to say that, but I was still surprised by it. I'm sure you're the same. Like, fuck, man. It's like if they attack the mechanism, fucking selection course is stupid. You're not going to learn that or whatever. But it's like if they attack the mission, it's a bit different, I guess.
Yeah, man. Look, if they haven't. Like, it's hard for people to say, your dog collars are shit. Like, well, do you own one? No. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Your course is shit. Your course is gay. Like, come along. I'll give you a free spot.
It's like, I don't like your art.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just drew the fucking thing. You don't have to like it.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to do it regardless. And let them.
Yeah. Hey, bro. We're going to wrap it up, mate.
Yeah, sweet.
Because I'm fucking sick of hearing you talk.
Fair.
3 questions, bro.
Mhm.
So first one, man. Advice for your younger self.
Oh, fucking again with child.
Or not necessarily childhood, but like a younger version of you or someone that's going into like a first responder military job or those kind of jobs. Like, what's your advice for that person or yourself at that stage? Past selection.
Okay.
This motherfucker.
This fucking guy.
Couldn't fucking help it.
No, you couldn't help it. At this point, mate, it said more about you than it does about me. It's fine.
I'm like the comment dude. I'm like,
Yeah. What would I give? Yeah, fucking don't become friends with Tom Brown. Yeah, the guy on selection called Tom Brown.
Don't put your trust.
Kneecap him.
Yeah.
Okay, what would I give my advice to my younger self going into enlisting? Understand your motivations for doing what you're doing. And if it's not what you want to do, that's okay. Because it wasn't until after I got out and, had the whole self-discovery journey that I realized, I was going for that job because I felt the need to be the best. And if I wasn't the best, then I was nothing.
Mm. Yeah, win-lose mentality, hey. All or nothing, feast or famine.
Yep.
That's a big one in our community, man.
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, it's part of the criticism, that's there, and that belief is ingrained. Same with infantry as well. We had a guy who was on the SAS Rio who I think got injured and was about to go back, and he was in there. He's like, "Hey, I'm just literally on a break. I'm here. I just want to teach you guys for a couple of days some stuff that I've learned." And half the fucking company was like, "Oh, well, he hasn't made it." It's like, he literally knows more than you from the people that you aspire to be. Oh no, but he's not actually wearing the beret. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So work out your deep motivations for why you want to do this, and if not the thing you thought you wanted to do, that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good one, man. Yeah. And then what about your service, bro? Like your service as a whole, what does it mean to you, man?
It's only now that I've really started to have a deep sense of pride in what I did. And what I did wasn't necessarily deployments or, passing a selection or getting a different color beret. What I did was sign up to be in service, which is something that virtually no one does. So what it meant to me was 2 things. An experience that I can be really proud of, the fact that I did it, and also a necessary step in my own growth as a man to be where I am now.
Yeah. Kind of ties in with your first one, hey? You like the motivation. What do you want? Why are you really doing it?
Yeah, it took me 6 years to work out, I didn't want the thing that I thought I wanted, and then another year or 2 after that to work out why I thought I wanted it. So I don't look back at my military career as like, oh, it's all fucking downhill from here. Back in the glory days, it was like that was a uncomfortable physical and emotional part of my life that I reflect back on and go, oh, if those things hadn't happened, there is no possible way that I would be who I am today. I would not have the level of growth and, emotional maturity and all that sort of stuff, compassion, calmness, if I hadn't had the living on nitrous oxide period in my life, because that has shown me that like, hey, this is actually okay. So it was necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something you can only get with time and perspective, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
At the time, it still sucks, hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it still does, man. I feel great talking about my failures, despite you reminding me fucking every chance you get. But yeah, like Our weightlifting coach said to me one time, he goes, it doesn't get easier, we just get stronger. There's a really cool meme that I've got, which is of statue of Atlas. Like, I ask not for lighter burdens, but for broader shoulders. This is why I go so heavy on the fucking chin-ups,
It's a good saying. I like that, man.
Yeah.
And the last one, bro, who are you outside your service, man?
Fuck.
Damn it.
Fuck. I'm a man with a great capacity and a deep desire to help people. It's not going to get much better than that. End it there.
It's perfect, mate. That's good. I like it. Well, Darren.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it, man. That was a good chinwag, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Let's go and see how that fucking beef spare rib went.
I can smash some meat in my face.
All right. And to those of you watching, listening at home, thank you very much. And we will see you on the next episode. Catch you later. Thanks for listening to that episode. We've got more episodes on the way. In the meantime, check out warriorsandwardens.com for keynote speaking or workshops for operational readiness and longevity in military or first responder teams using emotional well-being and sharing lived experience. I'm your host, Tom Brown. See you next time.